Hello everyone and welcome into the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. It's so wonderful to have you in on this Sunday. I hope your weekend is going incredibly well. Obviously, if you guys tailed our picks yesterday, you're having a great weekend because we certainly are. Wonderful to have you guys with us. So excited for this Sunday ahead. There is so much sports action on the docket today. If you're not excited about today, if you're not pumped up, make sure you go talk to a doctor, get someone to check your pulse, because clearly you're on the line of not being alive, because today is unbelievably awesome. First of all, NBA action, NHL action. We've got some men's college basketball, but also for all the fans of women's college basketball today, it may be one of the greatest days in women's college basketball history, and I'm a big believer that this year, it's actually more interesting to watch the women than the men's when it comes to college basketball. So if you're not excited about today's action, make sure you go talk to someone to get your health checked, because it is going to be a great freaking Sunday in March. I am so pumped to have you guys with us, no matter the platform you're watching on. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, Butt Fumble Sports is live. And we're freaking pumped about today's action. I could not be more excited. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you are doing well. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We're going to do our research live on the show, just like we've been doing over the last few weeks, because it's clearly been working. We've been doing a good job. And most importantly, we found that a lot of you guys have loved the content that we've been putting out there. So we're just thrilled to have you with us. This is a sports content company created by a sports fan for you real sports fans at home. If you love what we do, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. We're live almost every single day talking sports, doing sports betting and fantasy sports research. I could not be more pumped to have you guys with us, as you can tell. So let's get at it, everybody. We have got NHL, the way our show's going to go down. We're going to go NHL first. Then we're going to go to NBA, and then NBA player prop bets. Now, I am going to give out some college basketball picks early in the show. Men's college basketball tips off a little bit earlier than everything else, but we're going to do our research on the NHL, so I'll give out some college basketball picks. We're going to do our research on the NHL, then the NBA, then NBA player prop bets. Okay, everybody? So, to get us started, first things first, if you guys want to know the sources of the research that we use every day, the first one is Outlier. Outlier is a sports betting app that aggregates all this data that we can comb through. That's one website that we use. It does require a subscription. If you want to give it a free 7-day trial, DM me on Instagram. The other website that we use is killersports.com. KILLER sports.com. That's free. It's a free website. You guys could use it just like I am. I want to make sure you guys are aware of the resources that I use. So if you want to do this research on your own, go for it. I'm here to help you guys out, comb through all the data to find the best bets every day. But I also want to encourage you guys to do some work on your own, because I never want you to think that this is exclusively one person. I just happen to know what I'm looking for. I have a history of doing it for ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, and Jim Rome. But if you guys want to do it, all for it. That said, if you guys want any pick that I make every single day, I give them away for free. I know there are a lot of people on social media who charge for their picks. What a bunch of losers. What a bunch of jackasses. I give away my picks for free every day because you work hard for your money. You're a good sports fan. You deserve to get all of this information for free. Hit the follow button. You'll join us every day and see my research live on the show. And if you want all of my bets every day for free, just DM me on Instagram. I never, ever, ever want you to pay for one of my picks. I give them away for free because you're a good sports fan and that's what you deserve. With that said, let's get to work, everybody. I could not be more excited. As I just mentioned, we're going to start with some college basketball picks. I just did my research over the last 2 hours on college basketball, so we're going to hand those out. By the way, Lauren giving us some breaking news. Mac Jones getting traded to Jacksonville. Boy, are the Patriots happy that he's off the roster, and I'm sure Mac Jones is happy as well. Anthony Rodriguez, appreciate you joining us. Yesterday was a very green Saturday for us. One of our best days ever here at Butt Fumble Sports. So I'm so happy that so many of you guys not only watched, but hopefully tailed on a number of our picks. Are they always going to do as well as that? Probably not. That was an incredible Saturday. But we never do things based on gut. They're always based on data, analytics, trends, matchups. So hopefully the data, trends, and matchups all go the way they did yesterday today, because that'll be a very successful weekend for all of us. Let me give out a few college basketball picks, since tip-off for a number of college basketball games is at 12 o'clock, okay, everybody? First pick that I'm going to give out today is Purdue on the money line. Purdue is playing Wisconsin today. It's a game in which it's a senior day. Edey is going to be having his last day. This one tips off at 12:30. Right now, Purdue is a 10.5 point favorite. I took Wisconsin to cover a very big spread. This line continues to move up. It started at 10. It's now 10.5. I took Wisconsin to cover at 12.5. You can now get them at 13.5 at a very good spot. So that's what I would do. Purdue on the money line, Wisconsin plus 12.5 or plus 13.5. That's the first bet that I'm giving out. One more related to this game. I'm taking Wisconsin and Purdue. I like the over in this one, over 143.5. D. Turner, great to have you with us. Thanks for the Galaxy. Excited to have you joining the show today. So we've given out 3 picks on this one game. Purdue on the money line. Wisconsin plus 12.5, plus 13.5. Wisconsin, Purdue over 143.5. Let's give out a few more college basketball picks just so you have all of them. And certainly to say thank you for D. Turner for celebrating us on this glorious Sunday. Next pick that I have, I'm going Rutgers plus 6.5, plus 7.5. Those are 2 spots that I also like. Next pick that I like, Indiana plus 7.5. Indiana is a home underdog against Michigan State. Certainly like that as well. Next one that I like is Illinois on the money line. I'm giving out all these college basketball picks. I already did my research for them, so I'm just giving out the picks now. We'll get to NHL research and NBA research in a moment. I like Iowa at plus 4.5. If you could get it at like a plus 6.5, I like that even more, but that might be a parlay play for some of you. And the last college basketball pick that we'll give out for free is Penn State on the money line. So a quick recap for all of you guys watching on TikTok. I know if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can see my screen right in front of you. So with that said, you guys already know what I like. But for those on TikTok, here's a quick recap of all the college basketball picks that I like today. Purdue on the money line. Obviously, you're folding that into some parlays. They're a very heavy favorite. So just like Jay Can said, JC and the Sunshine Band. Sorry, I just saw the J and the C. JC and the Sunshine Band's totally right. Purdue is absolutely too heavy a favorite to maybe take on their own. Fold it into some parlays or same game parlays today. So the picks I like. Purdue on the money line. Wisconsin plus 12.5 or plus 13.5. Wisconsin, Purdue over 143.5. Rutgers plus 6.5 or plus 7.5. Indiana plus 7.5. Illinois on the money line. Iowa plus 4.5. If you could get it at a plus 6.5, I'd like it even more. And Penn State on the money line. Those are the college basketball picks we're giving out. Obviously, very heavy Big Ten day in men's college basketball. When it comes to women's college basketball, this is one of the best days ever in women's college basketball history, in my estimation. It is conference tournament championship day. We saw South Carolina pull off a stunner against Tennessee. We saw Iowa blow out the competition. Caitlin Clark, her last performance exclusively in the Big Ten. So women's college basketball, we don't have trends or data on that, so I'm not going to bet it. But if you love basketball, don't just think it's the men's that can ball out. These women are incredible. This might be the best year ever in women's college basketball. If you haven't made plans to watch them today, set aside some time, because you're going to see phenomenal basketball played by these women today. So excited for it. By the way, we are getting confirmation. Mac Jones has been traded to the Jacksonville Jaguars for a 6th round pick. So for all of those out there who are either Patriot fans or are keeping track of the news around the NFL, Mac Jones has been traded from the New England Patriots to the Jacksonville Jaguars. What does that tell me? First of all, it tells me that the New England Patriots are absolutely in the market for a rookie quarterback, whether they take it at number 3 or whether they take someone later in the draft and just get a veteran to kind of cover the gap in between. Certainly seems like the Patriots are going to use that number 3 pick, in my estimation, hopefully for a Jaden Daniels. Makes a lot of sense. As for Mac Jones, the experiment in New England failed. despite having a decent rookie season and making a Pro Bowl. Clearly, that pick was a disaster as it turns out. Whether by his fault or the Patriots' fault, that experiment in New England is over. So we have college basketball picks we've given out. We have NBA news that we've given out. And Adrian, just because you asked so politely, we will give out our college basketball picks. We're going to repeat them one more time. So we're going to repeat the college basketball picks that I just gave out. We're going to do our NHL research. We're going to do our NBA research. And then we're going to go NBA player prop bet research, okay? That'll be the order of things. One last time for all of you men's college basketball bettors out there, here are the picks that I like, okay? Purdue on the money line. Heavy favorite. Might want to put it into a parlay, but Purdue on the money line. Wisconsin, plus 12.5, plus 13.5. Wisconsin, Purdue, over 143.5. Rutgers, plus 6.5 or plus 7.5, depending where you can get it. Indiana, plus 7.5. Illinois on the money line. Iowa, plus 4.5, but if you could get it at plus 6.5, I'd really like it. Might be a leg of a parlay. And Penn State on the money line. Those are the college basketball picks we've just given out. If you ever want my picks, I give them away for free. Just DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. DM me on Instagram, and yeah, I give out alternative lines. That's actually what I do. For all of those that are new to the show, the sports books want your money. The sports books are trying to trap you. So when they set a line, they are doing it intentionally to try and beat you. The reason I take alternative lines is I want to cash tickets. I'm willing to give up some odds. I'm willing to pay a little bit more money, get a little bit less of a return on my investment to cash more tickets. That's why I do that. So I give out a lot of alternative lines. If you don't want to bet them, you don't have to. My job is to do the research to find the best bets for you every day, the bets that I think are going to cash. Yes, a lot of them are alternative lines. If you don't want that, that's cool. You either don't have to bet it or you can swipe on to another channel. But my job is to tell you which bets I think are going to cash at the line or at the total I think they're going to cash at. After that, it's up to you. I do the research, but this is a golden corral buffet of picks. It's your job to decide which picks you want on your plate. That's how we approach things. Data, analytics, trends, and matchups is how we come up with our bets, but it's your job to decide what you want to put on your betting ticket. With all of that said, let's get to work, everybody. We've got NHL first. We're going to do NHL game picks first. There are just 5 games in the NHL today, so it shouldn't take too much time. Then we're going to go to NBA game picks. We'll do our research for 9 games in the NBA, and then NBA player prop bets. That's what we have in store over the next hour and 45 minutes. Great to have you guys with us. Let's get to work, everybody. First NHL game that we're going to be focusing on today, puck drop is at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By the way, happy daylight saving time to all of you guys out there. No, it's a little bit less sleep, but I hope the excitement for the sports day got you up and at 'em really quick. Oilers, Penguins, this game is in Pittsburgh. Right now, the Oilers are a road favorite, but if you were to take them on the -1.5 spread, you could get it at plus 145. That said, 98% of the tickets are on the Oilers to cover the spread. 98% of the tickets. However, we don't have any data yet about how the money's coming down. Wish we did. Hasn't come in yet. That's why we're going to have to do some research right now. Let's go check out Oilers and Penguins. I have it loaded up right now. Here are a couple trends for you. The way we go about looking at our trends, I always like to look at how the two teams have done against each other in the location they'll be playing in, just to see if there's a little bit of historical data there. Then we go how each team's done this season, and then we narrow that sample size. How has each team done over the last few weeks to try to really hone in on how they're performing. So, Oilers, when they've played the Penguins in Pittsburgh since 2018, they've played 4 times in Pittsburgh since 2018. The Oilers are 3-1 straight up. They've won their last 3 meetings on the road in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. And notably, the under has actually gone 3-1. Very interesting there that the under's actually been a better play between these two teams. Jose just talked about that. Mac Jones, have fun in Jacksonville. Certainly it means the experiment in New England was a failure. Let's continue to look at this one. Next thing we're going to look at, how have the Oilers done on the road all season long? They've gone 18-14 straight up. But how have they been as a road favorite like they are today? throughout the 2023 season, the Oilers have been a road favorite 27 times. They've actually gone 15-12. So for some of you, you may be surprised that they haven't actually been as good a road team, just given their reputation, but they went on that massive winning streak in late December, early January that really propelled them to a better record. However, that hasn't been the case so much since the start of February. Since February, they've been a road favorite. Let me pull this up right now. Since February, they've been a road favorite 9 times. The Oilers have actually gone 4-5 straight up as a road favorite. And when they have won, they've actually only covered the spread 2 times in the last month and a half. So even though they have a 4-5 straight up record, they're actually even worse against the spread when that goal difference is 1.5. They beat the Ducks by 2 goals. They beat the Coyotes by 3 goals. But other than that, they have no wins since February 1st by more than 2 goals. That's very notable. That's a really standout trend to me, or stat to me. Certainly something I have my eye on. Additionally, when the Oilers have been a road favorite since the start of February, since February 1st, the under is 6-3. I know we think of the Oilers as a juggernaut offense, but the fact that the under is 6-3 in the last 9 games that they played as a road favorite definitely stands out. Now, let's jump on over to Pittsburgh. Let's take a look at how the Penguins have done at home throughout the 2023 season. All season long at home, the Penguins have gone 16-15. The under has gone 17-11-3. So that under trend continues to have some favorability to it. How about when the Penguins are a home underdog all season long? Penguins have been a home underdog 7 times this season. They've gone 4-3 straight up. But most notably, the under has gone 6-1 when the Penguins are a home underdog this season. That is an incredible trend. The fact that the Oilers have leaned towards the under, the fact that the Penguins have leaned towards the under, definitely stands out that the under might be a very good play for this day. Let's take a look at it a little bit more. Since the start of January 1st, when the Penguins have played at home, they're 6-8 straight up. The under is 7-6-1. Since the start of February, the Penguins at home, 4-4. The over's gone 4-3-1, but I don't take too much out of that. There is one more trend that I want to look at. The Penguins played yesterday, so I always like to look when we have a team that's on the second night of a back-to-back. I always like to kind of look at how they've done when they have 0 days of rest. Oh, wow! Unbelievable trend right here, everybody. When the Penguins are on the second day of a back-to-back, so they're on the second day, they played yesterday, they played today. On the second day of a back-to-back, the Penguins have gone 7-2 straight up. So despite not really having a great season for the Penguins, they're 28-26-8 overall at home in 2023. As a home at home in 2023, they're only 16-15, so barely above 500. But when they are in the second day of a back-to-back, they're 7-2 straight up. That really stands out to me. Let's take a look at how the Oilers have done when their opponent is on 0 days of rest. Is there something there? Another good trend here. When the Oilers play a team on the second day of a back-to-back, the Oilers are 9-1. So the Oilers have dominated when their opponent's on 0 days of rest. The only loss that the Oilers have in that situation came in November 2nd. They have a 9-game winning streak against opponents on 0 days of rest. Certainly stands out to me. A lot of reason to believe right now in exactly the pick I'm going to give out. Here's how we're going to go bet this game. I do like the Oilers on the money line. How they've done against opponents on 0 days of rest and how they've done in the last 2 months stands out. I'll take the Oilers on the money line. However, I do like the Penguins to cover. Penguins plus 1.5. Don't love it. Plus 2.5 would be better. But I'll take Penguins plus 1.5. I will also put it at plus 2.5 if you're looking to fold that into some parlays. So if you want to do a same game parlay, Oilers money line, Penguins plus 2.5 might be a very good play. Just noting it out there. You don't have to. By the way, the picks I give out, you can follow them, you can fade them. It's entirely up to you. I'm just giving you some access into my thinking and to help you understand why I'm thinking the way I am. But I want you guys to determine the picks you make. I never want you to get the impression that I'm pressuring you into something. I'm giving information, you're in control, you're driving the car, I'm just the GPS system allowing you to get a sense of what's ahead on the road. So I like the Oilers on the money line. I like Penguins plus 1.5 on its own. If I were to fold into put together a parlay, I like Penguins plus 2.5. And additionally, I like Oilers and I like Penguins going under the total. Under the total. Right now, the total for this game is set at 6.5. It's a good spot. It could be better. I'm going to take under 7, and I would take under 7.5 as a parlay play. The reason I'm taking it at under 7, first of all, under 7 is available at minus 190 on DraftKings, minus 200 on BetMGM, and minus 214 on Caesars. So actually, pretty good odds, all things considered. And additionally, if these two teams hit 7 goals, we don't lose the bet. It's just a push. We get our money back. So the fact that this game has to reach 8 goals in order for us to lose, I actually really like that spot. The under has been such a strong trend for these two teams. Certainly gives me a lot of encouragement to take that under 7 as opposed to the under 6.5. That is the first NHL game we've broken down. We have 4 more to get to. Next one on the docket, puck drop at 3:30 this afternoon. Predators, Wild. The Wild are a favorite at home for this game. The over-under set at 6.5 goals. We do have a little bit of data on this game in ways we didn't have on the first one. 71% of the tickets are on the Nashville Predators to win. 71% of the tickets are on the Nashville Predators to win. However, 85% of the money is on the Wild to win. Why does that stand out to us? Because when the money and the public tickets are going in opposite directions, follow the money. The public doesn't know anything. The money freaking knows something. So when you see that discrepancy, always be aware of it. Tend to follow the money. If the trends back it up. If the trends don't, maybe you don't bet it. Maybe you don't go for it. But on this one, the fact that the Wild are getting so much love from the money certainly stands out to me. And keep in mind, the Wild are a favorite in this game, so the fact that the public likes the underdog to win, but the Wild is getting all that money, certainly love it. Dalton makes a great point. We'll talk about that in a minute, Dalton. Let's get over to our research and let's dive into this game. Predators and Wild. How have these two teams done against each other over the last few years when they play in Minnesota? Since 2018, these teams have played 7 times. The Predators are 5-2 straight up when they played Minnesota in Minnesota. So the Nashville Predators have no problem going up north to Minnesota to play them 5-2 straight up. Additionally, the under has gone 4-3 between these two teams. Interesting to note, but the total doesn't stand out in the same way. By the way, Chef Roy, all of my picks for college basketball are already posted on either the SHARPZ app or you can find it on my Instagram story. So if you're looking for all of my college basketball picks, we already gave those out. You can check them out on SHARPZ or on my Instagram story. So there you go, Chef Roy. With that said, let's continue to look at this Predators and Wild game. I want to look at the Predators now. When the Predators have been a road underdog this season, they have gone 9-8 straight up, 9-7-1 against the spread. However, the Predators have been an incredibly hot team since about mid-December when on the road as an underdog. In the last 2, 4, 6, 8 games, they have gone 7-1 straight up. This is as a road underdog. They've gone 7-1 straight up in their last 8 games as a road underdog. And most notably, they've done a really good job of also covering the spread over that time. So definitely stands out to me. Now, the over for the Predators as a road underdog this season, 9-7-1. So the over is a slightly better play, but again, the total for this game isn't giving me any good vibes. No real trends that stand out so far. Let's look at how the Predators have done as a road underdog since the start of February. We're narrowing that sample size just to get a sense of it. Predators have only been a road underdog 2 times so far since February 1st. They've won both of those by multiple goals. 2-goal win against the Golden Knights, a 3-goal win against the Kings. Stands out a little bit. Total doesn't really matter to me. It has split at 1-1. How about the Wild at home this year? When the Wild have played at home in the 2023 season, they've actually gone 15-16. So the Wild have not been a great home team. Additionally, The under has been slightly better. The under has gone 17, 13, and 1 when the Wild have been at home this year. Let's narrow that sample size, or let's cut it up a little bit. By the way, John, great to have you continuing to be a subscriber. Great to see you with us. Missed you, buddy. Great to have you watching the show. Wild as a home favorite this season. The Wild have been better as a home favorite overall with the straight up record. The Wild have gone 12-7 straight up since as a home favorite this season. The under has gone 10-8-1. Now, what's interesting though, we're gonna narrow that sample size down again. When we look at the Wild at home since the start of February, they've actually only gone 3-2 straight up. Now, they have covered the spread. As mentioned by Dalton, they've covered the spread consistently over that period of time. But that's when they're an underdog. As a favorite, they're not covering that spread in the same way. So as a home favorite, let's just look at it since the start of the new year. Since January 1st, the Wild are actually 3-5 straight up as a home favorite in this calendar year. I wish that was a little bit better. Now, their losses, 3 of their 5 losses have only been by 1 goal. But the fact that they're a home favorite today, don't love it. Don't love it. The under has gone 5-2-1. Do I really like the under for this game? Not enough. Not enough. There's reason for me to believe that this game doesn't get to 7 goals. I could see it played at 6. So maybe under 7 would be an attractive play to some of you guys who are looking for a total play. But overall, I'm just not excited about this one. There's a lot of reasons for me to want to avoid it. So that's what I'm going to do. This game actually doesn't have my interest. There are no trends I can really sink my teeth into. The only thing that actually I'm kind of interested in is taking the Predators to cover the spread. Predators plus 1.5 feels like a good play. You can get the Predators at plus 1.5 at minus 205 on DraftKings. I think that's the only bet I'd go with. They've really been playing around a 1 goal. They've either been winning or playing around a 1 goal margin pretty consistently. So that's the only bet I'm going to make for this game. I know that the money is telling you to take the Wild on the money line. I won't disagree with the money on this one. But the fact I can get the Predators as a road underdog, I think that's the play I'm going to go with. So I will take Predators plus 1.5. But I will put a little warning with that. I don't have really strong conviction in that one. The trends don't back up that play with the same level of conviction that we may have in some of our other picks. So I'll take Predators plus 1.5, but I'm not really into that one. Just letting you guys know now. Okay, let's get to our third NHL game of the day. We've been through 2. We have 3 left to go. Then we'll do NBA game picks. Then we'll do NBA player prop bets. So we still have a lot of show ahead of us. Next game we're going to focus on Calgary Flames, Carolina Hurricanes. I told you guys yesterday, I love the Hurricanes on the money line. I like them plus 1.5. They ended up winning by 2 goals. So Carolina Hurricanes certainly delivered for us yesterday. Let's see how they do today. We're going to look at the Flames and we'll look at the Carolina Hurricanes. How have these two teams done when they've met in Carolina over the last few years? Interesting to note. The Flames have gone 1-3 in their last 4 games against the Hurricanes in Carolina, and they've actually lost the last 3 straight against the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. Something that stands out, you don't want to put too much into that, but it's always nice to know that there's a little bit of history there. Now let's look at the Flames when they have been a road underdog in the 2023 season. This season, when a road underdog, the Flames are 7-10. However, they've been much better of late. We'll dive into this trend in a little bit, but since January 1st, they've actually been very good against the spread and straight up. We'll talk about it in a second. When the Flames are a road underdog this season, they've gone 10-6-1 towards the over. So the over is a slightly better play just based on what we're seeing for the Flames as a road underdog. Now, let's break down that sample size a little bit. When the Flames are a road underdog in 2024, this calendar year, they've gone 6-2 straight up. Their only losses have been to the Rangers and yesterday against the Panthers. Besides those 2 games, 2 good opponents, by the way, the Rangers and the Panthers, the Flames have gone 6-2 overall. Those were the only 2 losses, so they've been performing incredibly well in 2024 as a road underdog. Now, their 2 losses have been by more than 1.5 goals. So, right now it kind of looks like either they win or they lose by 2, but we're not going to put too much stock into the losses. Those are two good opponents. Hurricanes, let's go look at them as a home favorite. Hurricanes as a home favorite this season overall have gone 20-12 straight up, and the under has gone 17-15. Let's break down that sample size a little bit more. When the Hurricanes have been a home favorite since the start of the new year, they've gone 10-6 overall. The under has gone 10-6. So kind of interesting that the under has been such a strong play for the Hurricanes. Again, the total might not be attractive to us. Not enough data here to really get excited about the total. One team kind of favors the over, one team favors the under. So we'll take a look at a few more trends on this one. Both teams played yesterday, I believe. So let's look at how these two teams have done on 0 days of rest. Flames during the 2023 season on 0 days of rest. Wow, this stands out to me, everybody. Hold on one second. So far this season, the Flames have played 5 games on the second day of a back-to-back. They're 0-5. The Flames have not won a single game on the second day of a back-to-back. That's a trend that stands out for all of us. Now, let's flip that around, and let's look at how the Hurricanes have done on the second day of a back-to-back. The Hurricanes have played 10 games on the second day of a back-to-back. They've gone 5-5. So a lot of reason to actually really like the Hurricanes on the money line. They are the favorite today for a reason. You can get Hurricanes on the money line at -205. That's what we're going to take for this game, is Hurricanes on the money line. It's that second day of the back-to-back that ultimately made the difference for me in making this pick. Large part because the fact that the Flames have gone 0-5 really stands out to me. Now, notably, when the Hurricanes are on the second day of a back-to-back, the under has gone 7-3. When the Flames are on the second day of a back-to-back, the under's gone 3-2. So if you wanted to take a total in this game, don't take it at the 5.5 that it's currently being offered at. Take it at like 6.5. Under 6.5 is at -120. What do I really like though? I like under 7. I can get under 7 goals at -210 on DraftKings, -210 on BetMGM, and -224 on Caesars. Under 7, just like that Oilers game that we talked about a moment ago, that under 7 is a good spot, because if 7 goals are hit, if 7 goals are scored, it's just a push. We get our money back. So I'm really making the bet that 8 goals aren't scored today, because that's the only way I can lose this bet. So I'll also put this one up on my big board. That's Flames, Hurricanes, under 7 goals. Feel good about that one, everybody. We have 2 more games in the NHL to cover. Before we get to those, I'm going to recap my NHL picks so far, okay? In case you're just joining the show, in case you've missed any of our picks, here are the NHL picks that we just researched just a moment ago. We have the Oilers on the money line. We have the Penguins +1.5. You could also consider them taking +2.5, but you would want to get that into some parlays. I like the Oilers and the Penguins under 7 or under 7.5. Again, fold the under 7.5 into some parlays. I like the Predators +1.5. I like the Hurricanes on the money line. And I like Flames and Hurricanes under 7. Those are the picks we've given out for the first 3 NHL games of the day. 2 more to go. Let's dive into them. Next game we're going to focus on is Coyotes at the Blackhawks. Coyotes at the Blackhawks. And shockingly, the Coyotes are a road favorite. Coyotes actually have a better record. They've been improving in 2024 slowly. They're 26-33-5 on the season, while the Blackhawks are 16-43-5. Just to get a little bit of data on how the public's betting this game, 67% of the tickets are on the Coyotes to win. 94% of the money is on the over. Currently, the total set at 5.5. Let's take a look at the trends, everyone. Coyotes, Blackhawks. When these two teams have met in Chicago over the last few years, the Coyotes have gone 3-4. The over has gone 3-4. So not a huge trend going in either direction. It's kind of a flat line there, so we're not going to take too much from that note. Let's take a look at how the Coyotes have done this season as a road favorite. They haven't been a road favorite too often this year, just 5 times as a road favorite, but they have gone 3-2. They've won 3 of their last 4 games as a road favorite. Their only loss was to the Canadiens back on February 27th. Other than that, though, they've actually done a pretty good job as a road favorite, again going 3-2 on the season. The over-under has literally been a flat line. 2-2-1 is the over/under record as a as a road favorite so far this year. I would like to see how the Coyotes have done just on the road, regardless of being a favorite or an underdog. How have the Coyotes been on the road since the start of the new year? Wow. Coyotes have been dog poop on your porch in the summertime. They have absolutely stunk so far in 2024 on the road. They've gone 3-11 straight up. They had an 11-game losing streak between January 16th and February 29th. So they've been terrible on the road, but mostly that was as an underdog. This game, they're a favorite, so it stands out a little bit. They have actually won their last 2 games on the road. They're actually undefeated in March on the road. They beat the Senators on March 1st. They beat the Capitals on March 3rd. So their 3rd road game of March, can they keep up that success? As for the total, when the Coyotes have been on the road in 2024, the over has gone 8-4-2. 8-4-2 towards the over. Now let's look at the Blackhawks. When we talk about dog poop on your porch in the summertime, stinking it up, the Blackhawks certainly come to mind. As a home underdog in this entire season, the Blackhawks have gone 9-20 straight up. 9-20 straight up. And the over-under, 17-11-1 towards the under. The under's gone 17-11-1. Currently, as a home underdog, the Blackhawks have a 5-game losing streak, and it gets even worse. Let's break down this sample size to really show you just how bad the Blackhawks have been since the start of February. As a home underdog, since February 1st, the Blackhawks have been 1-9 straight up. 1-9. That is god awful. They have covered the spread 2, 4, 5 times. Thank you, Ranger. The Blackhawks have covered the spread 5 times in those 9 games, but that's certainly not enough to get us excited. Now, the under has gone 7-3 over those 10 games, so as much as I was interested in maybe over 5.5, this kind of throws me off that trend. Right now, if I had to go in any direction, I can't believe I'm saying it, Coyotes on the money line, guys. Coyotes on the money line have been playing better of late. The Blackhawks have been awful at home, whether as a favorite, whether as an underdog. The Blackhawks have just been terrible. So it may be a shock to some of you, but I'll take the Coyotes on the money line for this game, and I won't bet I won't take a spread play. I don't think there's anything attractive in the spread play, so I'll avoid that one for now. But that is going to be the bet for this game, is Coyotes on the money line, everybody. The next bet we're giving out, as we're not betting the total. We have one more NHL game to get to, and then we're shifting over to the association. We'll do NBA game picks and player prop bets right after this. But the last NHL game of the day, puck drop at 8 p.m. tonight. Islanders, Ducks out in Anaheim. Let's take a look at it. The Islanders are a road favorite. However, 60% of the tickets that have been placed on the money line are on the Ducks to win. Now, that's the public betting that. I don't have any data on how the money's coming down. Wish I did. Not available to me right now. Let's go look at some trends. The Islanders, when they have played in... the Islanders, if I can spell correctly. The Islanders, when they've played the Ducks in Anaheim over the last few years, have gone 2-2. Nothing I could take from that. But the under has gone 3-1. So the under's been a slightly better play over the last few years between these two teams. Let's take a look at how the Islanders have done as a road favorite this season. They have only been a road favorite 10 times this entire year. They've actually only gone 4-6 straight up as a road favorite, and even worse, in their last 5 games as a road favorite, they're 1-4. So the Islanders as a road favorite, certainly not a very good play. Kind of gross. Doesn't stand out to me as a very good trend for this one. As for the total, the under has gone 5-4-1 when the Islanders are a road favorite. So, Not a lot of data we can take from that. Let's splice it down a little bit though. When the Islanders have been on the road in 2024, they're 6-8 straight up. The over has gone 7-5-2. Actually, really interesting note here. When the Islanders have been a road underdog. When the Islanders have been on the road since February 1st. So, in the last month and a half or so, they've gone 5-1 on the road. Islanders have actually been a good road team since February 1st. Now, they were only a favorite in 3 of those games, but actually that's a really good record. 5-1 straight up on the road stands out to me there. Let's take a look at how the Ducks have been as a home underdog this year. This is throughout the entire 2023 season. The Ducks have been a home underdog 28 times. They've gone 8-20 straight up. They have gone 2-2 over the last 4 games as a home underdog, but boy, have they been a bad team at home as an underdog. As for the total under that scenario, the under has gone 14, 12, and 2. Not enough there on the total to get me excited. Let's look at how the Ducks have been at home since the start of the new year. So the Ducks at home since January 1st of this year, they've gone 4-9 straight up. The under has gone 7-5-1. Now, let's just take a look at it as a home underdog this calendar year. They're 3-8 straight up. So the more we kind of break down the sample size and drill down into the numbers, the worse the Ducks look. As much as I'm not crazy about it, I will take the Islanders on the money line for this game. You can get Islanders on the money line at -195. That's what I'm going to take. Islanders on the money line. Much like the Coyotes money line, do I have a great level of conviction on it? No, but their opponent is so bad at home. That's what's really convincing me to take those bets. So I will take Islanders on the money line. We're not going to bet the spread. We're not going to bet the total. It's the only bet we're going to make for this game. So, before we go over to the NBA research, here's a recap of all the NHL picks we've given out so far, okay, everyone? Here are the NHL picks one more time. Oilers on the money line. Penguins +1.5 or +2.5 if you want to fold it into some parlays. I like the Oilers and Penguins under 7 goals or under 7.5. Again, that would be a parlay play. I like Predators +1.5. I like the Hurricanes on the money line. I like Flames and Hurricanes under 7 goals. I like Coyotes on the money line. And I like the Islanders on the money line. For those who don't know me, Butt Fumble Sports is a sports content company created by a sports fan for you sports fans at home. I've been a producer at ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, and for Jim Rome, producing sports content, whether it's for fantasy sports, sports betting, or just ranting about sports. I love doing this. This is my favorite thing to do, is talking sports with you guys every day. So, if you guys want my bets every single day for free, I give them away. You shouldn't be paying for picks. I give away this research. You guys should never be paying for picks. I think it's ludicrous, unless it's literally coming from like a Vegas insider expert. So, I will never ever charge you for my bets. If you ever want my picks for free, just DM me on Instagram. The name of my company, Butt Fumble Sports, is also my handle on Instagram. DM me. I'll hook you up with a link and a referral code for the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ shows my picks for free. They're never hidden. They're never behind a paywall. I never delete them. There's always transparency, so you can see every bet I make, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, regardless of the odds, and that way you can decide which ones you want to follow, which ones you want to fade. You will literally have the option on SHARPZ where if there's a bet that you like that I make, you can literally hit that pick, and it automatically generates that bet in your sports book. So you can literally tail my bets without having to plug them in on your own. That's how I give away my picks for free every day. If you guys want them, just DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM me. I'll give you access to my picks every single day for free because you work hard for your money. You should own your money. You should put it towards sports betting, not towards buying someone's picks. I think that's bullshit. So that's how I do things here. I give away my picks for free every single day. With that said, we have covered now the college basketball day. A lot of Big Ten action there in college basketball. My picks are already posted on SHARPZ for college basketball. They're also in my Instagram story. I've actually been doing that more lately as well, is posting my picks on my Instagram story, but that's after the show, so you don't have as much time to look at them as you do the picks on SHARPZ. But I like to give away my picks for free, because obviously you deserve that. You guys at home, you're good sports fans, you deserve to get all this information for free. So we've gone through college basketball, we've gone through the NHL. Guys, it's time to hit the hardwood and talk some NBA. We have 9 games in the association this afternoon and evening. Let's dive into all these games. I'm going to get my killersports.com all set up. Just as a reminder, I use 2 sources of data, 2 websites or apps to get all of the data that I present to you guys. The first one is Outlier. 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 It is, in my opinion, the best sports betting research tool on the market. For any of you guys who trade stocks, think of it like the Bloomberg terminal for stock trading. It aggregates data. It brings in information about how the public is betting games. It allows you to comparison shop between different sports books so you find the best bet with the best odds. Outlier does require, I think, like a $20 subscription per month. But if you guys want to give it a 7-day free trial, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you guys a free 7-day trial code. You guys can give it a whirl. If you like it, you can sign up for it. If you don't, no big deal. I don't think there is anything better on the market in order to find the best bets every day. So I certainly encourage you guys to check it out. DM me on Instagram if you want that free 7-day trial for Outlier. The other website that I use is called killersports.com. KILLER sports.com. It is absolutely free. You guys don't have to pay for it, which is fantastic. It does require you guys to do a little bit of the extra work where Outlier kind of puts together the trends and data for you. Killersports.com, you got to comb through it yourself, but it's free. You guys could look up all of the trends that I'm looking up right now and do this research on your own. I'm just doing it really fast, knowing what I'm looking for, so that's why I let you guys know. If you guys want to do it, you guys can find it. By the way, Dan Lee, all of my college basketball picks are either on the SHARPZ app or they're posted on my Instagram story. So you don't have to miss anything, Dan. You can go check out all those college basketball picks right now. D808, let them know. Appreciate you letting them know. Okay, first game we're going to focus on in the NBA today. It's actually a really good game. Milwaukee Bucks against the LA Clippers. The Clippers are a home underdog in this game. Very interesting. Clippers have the better record on the season, but they're a home underdog. Let's take a look at some of the information behind this game. 92% of the tickets for the money line are on the Bucks. So the public really likes the Bucks to win. Really likes the Bucks to win. Interestingly enough, when it comes to the spread, 71% of the tickets are on the Bucks to cover a 5.5-point spread. Maybe even more notably, 86% of the money is on the Bucks to cover the spread. You guys know when there's a discrepancy between tickets and money, we follow the money. But on this one, the money likes the Bucks even more than the public does. So that stands out to me. That's definitely something I keep note of. Let's dive into these trends a little bit more, and let's look at how the Bucks have done against the Clippers in LA over the last few years. So Bucks, Clippers, when the Bucks have played in LA since, let's say, 2018. By the way, I know there's that COVID year in the bubble. I included, I don't make note of it, but I know there was that one game or one season where these guys were playing in a conference room down in Miami or whatever. But that's not what I'm going to focus on when I do these trends. I'm going to treat it like they were playing on the road, just so you know. So anyways, when these two teams have played in LA over the last 5 years, 6 years, the Bucks have gone 3-2 straight up. But they've only gone 2-3 against the spread. Most notably, the over has gone 4-1. So that's the kind of information we take. And I just want to call this out. In the last 5 meetings between these two teams in LA, the average margin, the average score was 243 points. So we've seen a lot of scoring between these two teams over the last few years. Interesting though, I always like to look at the margin of difference for basketball. Tells us a little bit about how to bet the spread. The margin of difference for these 5 games is only 3 points. What's the spread today? 5.5. Just keep that in mind. Now let's break down how the Bucks have done this season on the road. We're looking at the 2023 season. The Bucks on the road this year, they actually have a 500 record on the road. The Bucks on the road throughout the entire season have only gone 16-16 straight up. And bizarrely, against the spread, the Bucks have a losing record on the road against the spread. The Bucks have gone 13-19 against the spread on the road. And not surprising here, as we've been talking about this over the last few days, the under has gone 19-12-1 so far this year when the Bucks are on the road. Now, let's break it down a little bit more. How have the Bucks been as a road favorite? When the Bucks have been a road favorite this year, they have gone 15-10, so they're better as a road favorite than they are as a road underdog. That's of note. Against the spread, though, they've only gone 11-14. They continue to not be a great road team against the spread, even as a favorite. As for the total, the over-under, 12-12-1, so nothing about that really stands out, at least season-wide. We'll break that number down, though, as we kind of narrow the sample size. You guys know, I don't just like to look at how a team has done over the entire season, because how they were playing in November and December doesn't really tell me as much about how they're playing in March, so I do like to break it down as well. I want to see how they've done since the start of the new year. So since January 1st, when the Bucks have been a road favorite, they've gone 7-5 straight up. The Bucks have gone 7-5 straight up as a road favorite. Against the spread, though, they've gone 4-8. So even this calendar year, they've been a very bad play as a road favorite against the spread. That continues to stand out, but when we narrow it down from February, it gets even tighter. We'll talk about it in a moment. This calendar year, though, in 2024, the under has gone 8-3-1 when the Bucks are a road favorite. So there is some reason to kind of believe that the Bucks under might be a good play. Now, that was since January 1st. Even that's a little out of date for the Milwaukee Bucks because obviously they changed coaches. Doc Rivers took over. So let's take a look at how they've done since February 1st. Over the last 6 weeks or so, how have the Bucks done as a road favorite? Interesting. They've gone 4-2 straight up. They've gone 4-2 against the spread. And the under is 4-1-1 since February 1st. Really interesting to note there. Maybe even more notable, the total in those games, in those 6 games they've played, the total has come out to 224. What's the total today? 224. Don't tell me the sports books don't know what they're doing. Why do I buy alternative lines? Because the sports books know 224 is the magic number over the last 6 games for the Bucks as a road favorite. There's a reason they set that number at that line. So just in case you guys are like, why does he take alternative lines? It's because the sports books want our money and they're very good at taking it. With that said, the Bucks are coming off that loss to the Lakers. So there is one more trend involving the Bucks that I want to look at. When the Bucks this season, all season long, not just in 2024, but the entire 2023 season, when they are coming off a loss and then they're a road favorite the next game, they're actually 4-5 straight up. More notably, when the Bucks are a road favorite after a loss in their previous game, they're 2-7 against the spread. So this team hasn't really bounced back after a loss with the same kind of success that we may have expected. Now, before we do anything, let's take a look at the injury report. That's something we normally do right away, but I want to look at how the injury report's coming out. Giannis is a game-time decision for this game. Giannis is a game-time decision with a right knee injury. Chris Middleton, there was talk that he might play today. That's not the case. Chris Middleton is still out with a left ankle sprain. Russell Westbrook is the only member of the Clippers out. He has that fractured left hand. He's going to be out for a while now. But Giannis' status certainly impacts this game. Another note about how this game's playing out, the line movement. The Clippers opened as a 1-point favorite. They have moved to a 5.5-point underdog. That's really interesting. The fact that the money has really shifted this line and really pulled this towards the Bucks being a heavier favorite kind of stands out to me, something of note. Let's take a look at how the Clippers have done so far this season as a home underdog. That's all season long. How have the Clippers been as a home underdog? The Clippers have only played 1 game this year as a home underdog. That's shocking. The only game they've played as a home underdog was against the Celtics, and they got blown out in that game, a 37-point loss back in late December. So not a lot of data behind the Clippers as a home underdog. What about the Clippers at home overall this season? Clippers at home have gone 22-8. They've gone 16-14 against the spread. The under has gone 17-11-2 when the Clippers are at home. We talked a lot about how the Bucks have been a very good under team over the last few weeks since Doc took over. The fact that the Clippers have been a better under team at home, don't be surprised if we end up taking the under in this game, just saying. Now, let's break down that sample size though. How have the Clippers done since the start of 2024 at home overall? So since January 1st, the Clippers have played 13 games at home. They've gone 9-4 straight up. They've gone 7-6 against the spread, and they've gone 6-7 on the over. The over's gone 6-7. But we want to narrow that sample size down even more. How have they done at home since February 1st? So in the last 6 weeks or so, how have they done? You guys are going to love one of the trends I bring up. When it comes to straight up, the Clippers have gone 3-4 straight up at home over the last few weeks. Since February 1st against the spread, they're actually 2-5. They had a 5-game losing streak against the spread from February 7th to February 28th. However, their last 2 games at home against the Wizards and the Bulls, they won and they covered the spread. So they were struggling there for a couple weeks, but they bounced back in the month of March. However, the trend that I really like and the stat that stands out to me, since February 1st, when the Clippers are at home playing in LA, the under is 1-6. Boy, do I like the under in this game. If I had to go in any direction for this one, I kind of like the Clippers to cover the spread. Getting the Clippers as a home underdog, I actually like it. At the 5.5, doesn't attract me. But I can get the Clippers at plus 9.5 at minus 185 on BetMGM, minus 197 on FanDuel, minus 210 on DraftKings. Is it just me, or does that feel like a good play? The margin of difference for the Clippers at home is 6 points in their favor. Since February 1st, even with that 3-4 straight up record and that 2-5 against the spread record, the Clippers have only lost by an average margin of difference by 2 points. So getting the Clippers at plus 9.5 feels like a no-brainer to me. That feels like a phenomenally good bet. Do I think the Clippers are going to lose by double digits at home? Keep in mind, Giannis is questionable. Do I think he probably plays? Yes, but the fact that there's even some doubt there feels like an awesome opportunity to take the Clippers. Maybe I'm missing something here, but it feels like the Clippers are a really strong play to me. Unless there's some Doc River revenge factor when going up against the Clippers, I don't understand why this is so available. So I'm going to take, as our first NBA pick of the day, I'm going to take the Clippers plus 9.5. That feels like a phenomenal bet. I love taking it there. I will also take Bucks and Clippers. You guys know where I'm going with the total. I'm taking the under. I'm not going to take it at 224. That's absolutely a trap that's being set by the sports books. But I will take the under. Keep in mind, 77% of the tickets are on the under. 94% of the money is on the under. So while the public loves the under, the money, the sharp or smart money, loves the under even more. You guys know I like the under as well. Now, the total for this game opened at 228.5, has worked its way down to 222.5. Just like Dia808 is saying, I really love that original line. Under 228.5 is a great spot to take this total. It's exactly what I'm going to take it at. Great find by UD. That's under 228.5. You can get that at minus 190 on BetMGM, minus 192 on FanDuel, minus 205 on DraftKings. Love it. The fact it opened up at that line and has moved down 6 points, it tells you that 228.5 was actually a really favorable spot because the money came down heavy on the under at that spot. It's what I'm going to take, under 228.5. So just to recap the picks from this game, we like Clippers plus 9.5. We like Bucks and Clippers under 228.5. Those are the first 2 picks we've done for the NBA today. Okay, everybody, let's go to our second NBA game of the day. Wizards, Miami Heat, down in Miami. Let's take a look at how the public's betting this game. So far, 97% of the tickets on this game are on the Heat to win. Shocker. Shocker. Given the Wizards are one of the worst teams in the NBA, not surprised that the Miami Heat are getting so much love from the public on the money line. Additionally, though, when it comes to the spread right now is 11.5 points. Right now, for the public tickets, it's 50-50. 50% of the tickets are on the Wizards to cover, 50% of the tickets are on the Miami Heat to cover. Where's the money? 85% of the money bet on the spread for this game is on Miami to cover 11.5 points. That certainly stands out to me. Again, we want to see when the public's going one direction on tickets, but the money's going in the other direction. Follow the money, everybody. Let's take a look at the injury report for this game. So, for the Washington Wizards, I'm seeing Landry Shamet is a game-time decision. Richaun Holmes is a game-time decision. As for the Miami Heat, Tyler Hero is still out. Kevin Love is still out. So, not too crazy. We kind of expected that injury report to be the case. Let's dive into the trends, everybody, and see if there's something we can sink our teeth into. Wizards, when they've played the Miami Heat in Miami since 2018, the Wizards have gone 2-9 straight up against the Heat in Miami since 2018. Interestingly to note, though, the against the spread record, the Wizards have gone 7-3 against the spread against the Heat in Miami. So they've actually done a better job covering the spread than I think any of us would have expected. However, when it comes to straight up, the Heat have won 5 straight games against the Wizards in Miami. 6 straight games. The Heat have won 6 straight games against the Wizards in Miami. So, clearly there's a reason that we love the Miami Heat on the money line, but we're not just going to assume that everything's hunky-dory and that's a good play. Let's continue to dive into the trends. When the Wizards are a road underdog this season, they're 6-27 straight up. Talk about some dog poop on your porch in the summertime. That stinks. 6-27 straight up, that's god-awful. However, against the spread, the Wizards are 19-13-1 against the spread. So they've actually been pretty good at covering the spread so far this year as an underdog. That's all season long. As for the total, the over has gone 18-15 when the Wizards are a road underdog. Let's break down that sample size a little bit to see if there's even something more that we can really gravitate towards. So, since January 1st, the Wizards have been a road underdog 15 times. They've gone 3-12 straight up, and they have a 2, 4, 6, 8 game losing streak as a road underdog. So, I love the Miami Heat on the money line. You guys are probably going to expect that one. Not surprised by it. However, the Wizards have gone 8-6-1 against the spread this calendar year as a road underdog. Kind of interesting there. As for the total has gone 8-7. The over's gone 8-7. But let's break down that sample size even more. Let's look at it since February 1st. Since February 1st, the Wizards are 0-8 straight up. 0-8 straight up. They're 4-4 against the spread. But here's a trend that we really like, everybody. When the Wizards have been a road underdog since February 1st, the over is 7-1. The over is 7-1. Really interesting there, the fact that the over has been such a strong play. By the way, what's the total been over those 8 games? 149 points. So it's not just covering the over, it's going way over the over total. So that really stands out to me. Now let's flip it over. Let's look at the Miami Heat. User 1273. Then don't watch the show. By the way, when I talk about trends or data or variables, I don't just want one in my favor. I want a constellation. I don't just want one. I want a series of them. But by the way, you don't want to watch the show. See you later. I don't need. You don't have to watch the show. You don't have to care about the trends. It's always interesting to me people who watch the show and then they criticize the trends I'm giving out. Fine, then swipe up and don't watch the show. I never understand that. People are so funny to me. Anyways, back to the people who care about the trends. Back to the people who care about what I'm talking about. When the Heat are a home team so far this season as a whole, The Heat have gone 17-13 straight up. At home this year, 17-13 straight up. Additionally, the Heat have only gone 12-18 against the spread this season at home. Now, let's look at them as a home favorite. How have they been as a home favorite this season? They've gone 17-6 straight up as a home favorite. Guys, we don't need to waste any more time. Heat on the money line's a good bet. You may want to obviously put it into some parlays, but Heat on the money line, that's an obvious one for me. All the trends point that it's a good play. However, against the spread as a home favorite this season, the Heat are just 11-12. So the Heat have not been great at covering the spread so far this season as a home favorite. That said, the Heat as a home favorite have won 5 straight games, so certainly the Heat on the money line feels like a very good play. How have the Heat been at home since January 1st, since the start of the new year? Since January 1st, the Heat have gone 8-7 straight up at home. They've gone 7-8 against the spread, and the under has gone 9-6. How about since January 1st? How about since February 1st? Since February 1st, the Heat have played 6 games at home. They've gone 4-2 straight up. They've gone 3-3 against the spread. The over-under's gone 3-3 as well. I'm not crazy about this spread right now, if I'm being honest, but I do want to look at one more trend before we actually decide not to bet it or to bet it. During the 2023 season, when the Heat have a line of 11 points or more, when they are a favorite by at least 11 points, let's see how they've done. The Heat have been a favorite by at least 11 points 2 previous times. They're an 11.5 point favorite today. Interesting to note, they have failed to cover the previous 2 games. Both of those games, they failed to cover. Those games were against the Grizzlies and against the Pistons. Let's break that down a little bit more. When the Heat have been a double-digit favorite, same number. When the Heat have been at least a 9-point favorite, they're 0-3. Let's keep driving at this one. When the Heat have been a favorite of 8 points or more, they're 6-1 straight up. They're only 2-5 against the spread. So kind of interesting there. Let's flip it. That's at home, by the way. Let's flip it and let's look at the Wizards. When the Wizards, at any point this year, have been an underdog by double digits. When the Wizards have been a 10-point underdog, wow, you want a great trend? This is the best trend of the day. This will turn my Heat play into my SHARPZ play of the day. This is no longer just any bet of the day. This is my favorite bet of the day, everybody. This is my SHARPZ play of the day, my favorite bet of the day, regardless of the odds, regardless of the type of bet, regardless of everything. My favorite bet of the day is officially the Heat on the money line. Why do I feel so strongly about that? Because as I just punched in the research, when the Wizards have had a 10-point spread against them, when they're a 10-point underdog, they are 0-26 straight up this year. You heard that correctly. They've played 26 games with a spread of 8 points or more. They've lost all 26 games. I don't know if there's a better bet in sports today than the Miami Heat on the money line based on that data. That said, when the Wizards have had a 10-point spread or more, they've actually gone 14-12 against the spread. They've done a good job covering that for the most part. As for the total, the over has gone 16-10 this season when the Wizards have a 10-point spread or worse. So just something to keep note of. Do I want to bet the over-under in this game? I really don't. I'm not going to bet the spread either. I'm going to avoid that. I love the Heat on the money line. If I were to take the spread, I'd actually consider the Wizards to cover. The Wizards by like plus 15.5. That would probably be a good spot to take them. If you're looking for a spread play on Wizards Heat, plus 15.5 is available at minus 175 on BetMGM, minus 200 on FanDuel, minus 210 on DraftKings. This line opened at plus 9. It's moved up to plus 11.5. If you like the Wizards to cover, you love that line movement because it's working in your favor. I'm not going to bet this one, but if I had to, gun to head, I would take the Wizards at like plus 15.5. That would be the play for me. Okay, let's move on to the third NBA game on the schedule. That is the Pacers and the Magic, everybody. This game tips off at 6 o'clock tonight. 75% of the tickets are on the Magic to win 94% of the money is on the Magic to win. So we love the fact that the money is going in the direction of the Magic. As for the spread, it's a 2.5-point spread. 51% of the tickets are on the Pacers. Not enough there. Not enough there. That's not really what I like. Dabber Doodle, you know when I say gun to head, it's my way of letting you know for if you really want to bet that game, or if it's a game that you had already placed a bet on, I want you to know what my thinking is. But when I say gun to head, yeah, Dabber Doodle, it means I'm probably not putting it down on my own tickets. That said, let's look at the injury report for Pacers and Magic. Okay, Pacers and Magic. Markelle Fultz is a game-time decision for the Magic. Jalen Suggs is a game-time decision for the Magic. Those are the only two injuries that really stand out from the injury report for this game. This opened as a 1-point spread in favor of the Magic. It's moved from -1 up to -2.5. So as the money has come down, the Magic have grown as a heavier favorite. Let's go look at some trends. When the Pacers have played the Magic in Orlando over the last few years, the Pacers actually have a better record. Pacers are 6-3 in their last 9 games against the Magic in Orlando. As for the spread, the Pacers have gone 5-3-1 against the spread against the Magic. The total, the under's gone 5-4. Now, I want to make sure you guys are aware. I look at the trend between the two teams at the location they're playing just to get a sense if there's something I should be aware of. But I also want you guys to know I don't put too much stock into that. Why? Because the Magic are a much better team this year than they have been over the last few seasons. So is it really a good indication? No. But every once in a while, you'll find a trend that really stands out, and you don't want to be naive to it. So I make you aware of it, but I don't want you to sink the anchor of confidence into that just because we're looking at it. Let's look at how the Pacers have done on the road as an underdog this season. When the Pacers have been a road underdog in the 2023 season, they're 9-12 straight up. They're 11-9-1 against the spread, and the under's gone 11-10. Not great, kind of even around that kind of mid-500 mark, so I'm not going to get too crazy on that. With that said, by the way, thanks Mark, appreciate you supporting the show. Appreciate you saying let's get up to 20K. We'll see if that actually happens. I have my doubts. But with that said, let's look at how the Pacers have done as a road underdog in 2024. So this calendar year, when the Pacers are a road underdog, they're 4-6 straight up. They're 6-3 against the spread. More notably, they've really struggled of late. In their last 5 games as a road underdog, the Pacers have gone 1-4 straight up. So they haven't been a very good straight up team on the road over the last few weeks. We certainly like that if we like the Magic on the money line. As for the spread, they've gone 6-3-1 since January 1st as a road underdog. Again, not enough there for me to really sink my teeth into, because in their last 4 games as a road underdog, they've gone 2-2. So, one last note. We've talked a lot over the last few shows about how because the Pacers were on an incredible historic offensive pace earlier in the year, the sportsbooks started to raise the total of Pacer games to a point where now the under has become a very good bet consistently. The under, since January 1st when the Pacers are a road underdog, has gone 7-3. So the under's been a slightly better play over the last few weeks, in part because I think the Pacers, they encourage the sportsbooks to just raise that ceiling a bit too much on the total. Since January 1st, the average score for Pacer games when they're a road underdog is 235. The total for today's game is 224. Just want to make you aware of that. By the way, what's been the margin of difference in score for those games? 3 points. What's the spread today? 2.5 points. When I tell you guys that the sportsbooks know what they're doing, this is why we take alternative lines, everybody, because the sportsbooks know how to rig it to make their money. With that said, let's look at how the Magic have done as a home favorite so far during the 2023 season. Oh, wow. Great trend here. The Pacers have played 16 games this season as a home favorite. They have gone 14-2, and actually, those 2 losses came back-to-back in mid-December. The Pacers have won the last 2, 4, 6, 7 games at home as a favorite, and they've covered every single one of them. Let me repeat that. since 2023, or this entire season, when the Pacers have been a home favorite, they have won the last 7 games and covered the spread in the last 7 games as a home favorite. That dates back to January 21st. So if I look at the data, when the Pacers, let's look at them at home, not just as a favorite. When the Pacers have been at home since January 1st, they have gone 9-4 straight up. They've gone 9-4 against the spread. And again, all of their losses came when they were an underdog. The losses came to the Timberwolves, the 76ers, the Cavaliers, and the Thunder. So the fact that they're playing a team in which they're favored against, I absolutely love the Magic at home today. Magic at home on the money line, and personally, I like them on the spread as well. This is one that I'm willing to take. Magic on the money line. I'd also take the Magic. I'm going to take it at -1.5. I'm chickening out just a little bit because of what I said. That margin of difference spooks me just a little. But I'll take the Orlando Magic at -1.5. You can get that at -115 on BetMGM, -120 on FanDuel, -125 on DraftKings. So I really like the Magic today. Magic on the money line, Magic -1.5. As for the total, I don't love the total in this game. The under's been a pretty good play of late. The under's gone 3-0 in the last 3 games the Magic have played at home. But 224 feels a little low to me. If I were to take the total in this game, I'd still take the under. I would still take the under, but I would buy some point. I would buy it up. The total for this game opened at 230.5. It's since come down to 223.5. So I would like to take it at that original line if it's possible. I can get under 230.5 at -200 on FanDuel, -200 on BetMGM, -215 on DraftKings. That's where I would take this one, everybody. I would take it under 230.5. So I will put that up on my board. Pacers, Magic, under 230.5. That's what I would bet for this game. We've gone through 3 games in the NBA so far after going through all of the college basketball and NBA schedule, or college basketball and NHL schedule. Here's a recap, everybody, of the picks we've given out for the NBA. So a recap of the picks we've done for the NBA so far. Our Sharps play of the day. My favorite bet of the day, regardless of the odds, the type of bet, the different sport, is Heat on the money line. Heat on the money line. The Wizards, as a road underdog this year of a spread of at least 8 points, they're 0-26. Best trend I've seen all day. So Heat on the money line is my favorite bet of the day. As for the other bets that we like, I like the Clippers +9.5. I like Bucks and Clippers under 228.5. I like the Magic on the money line. I like the Magic -1.5. And I like Pacers and Magic under 230.5. We've gone through 3 games in the NBA. We have 6 more to go. We also have player prop bets to get to. At some point, actually, I'm going to need to place my NHL picks because actually there's a game that drops puck at 1 p.m. So I might have to take a 2-second break to place my bets for the NHL, but that shouldn't take too long. We'll make that pretty quick. Let's continue to look at the NBA right now. Let's go to the Rockets and the Kings. Next game on the schedule for us is Rockets and the Kings. Right now, 93% of the tickets are coming down on the Kings to win. 87% of the tickets are on the Kings to cover a 6.5 point spread. We don't have any data about the money. By the way, Armando, I'll let you know with the NHL picks right after this, everybody. Mark's driving that 20K goal. Let's see if we hit it. Let's look at the injury report for Rockets and Kings, everyone. Injury report for Rockets and Kings. Davion Mitchell is a game-time decision with a right chest soreness. Other than that, everybody's healthy for both sides on this one. No injuries that really stand out on the injury report. So let's break down the trends. Let's look at how the Rockets and the Kings have done against each other over the last few years when they played in Sacramento. Really interesting. The Rockets have gone 5-4 over their last 9 games against the Kings in Sacramento. However, if we broke that down, since 2020, if we narrowed that sample size, since 2020, when these two teams have played in Sacramento, the Kings have gone 4-1 straight up. they've gone 4-1 against the spread. So that is one of those times where the history stands out to me. The Kings have done a phenomenal job against the Rockets at home over the last few years. By the way, Hunter, thank you so much for posting those picks to let the people know. Really appreciate you doing that. Thanks so much, Jose. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's look at how the Rockets have done as a road underdog this season. Rockets have been a surprisingly good team at home. Can't say the same thing about them on the road. Rockets as a road underdog this season have gone 3-23 straight up. PU, that stinks. How about against the spread? They're 9-16-1 against the spread so far this entire season as a road underdog. They did win their last game on the road as an underdog against the Suns, but that was also a back-to-back against the Suns. They played 2 games against the Suns in a row. Usually when you see teams play each other back-to-back games, there's something about that throws it off. Like the teams get too much data on the other, too much knowledge. So I kind of throw out that previous win. Prior to that, the Rockets were on a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 game losing streak as a road underdog. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I definitely like the Kings on the money line. We'll dive into it a little bit more, but I can tell you right now I like the Kings on the money line. With that said, let's look at how the Rockets have done in 2024. They've gone 1-13 straight up. They've gone 4-10 against the spread. The average margin of difference so far this calendar year when the Rockets are a road underdog is 10 points. What's the spread for today's game right now? 6.5. So it definitely stands out to me that not only Kings on the money line, but Kings on the spread could be a very good play. As for the total, the under has gone 8-6 so far this season when the Rockets are a road underdog. But if I were to narrow that sample size down even more, since February 1st, the under has gone 6-2 when the Rockets are a road underdog. So the under's been a very good play over the last 5-6 weeks when the Rockets are a road underdog. Let's flip it over. Let's take a look at the Kings. When the Kings have been a home favorite this year, Kings as a home favorite this season, they have gone 16-10 straight up. Only 10-16 against the spread. That kind of interests me there. And the over has gone 18-8. So the Kings on the money line continues to be a good play. I will put that up on my board right now. Kings on the money line, everybody. Kings on the money line. Definitely a bet that I really like. Just based on the trends that we're seeing, definitely one that I'm a big fan of. With that said, how about that spread play? Do we like the Kings to cover the spread? Let's look at how they've done at home, whether as a favorite or as an underdog, since January 1st. Since the start of the new year, the Kings are just 6-6 straight up. So they haven't been a great home team, actually, this calendar year. As for the spread, not only are the Kings 3-9 against the spread in 2024, they've actually failed to cover the spread in their last 4 straight games at home and in 5 of their last 6 games. Those games came against the Spurs, the Bulls, the Heat, the Spurs, and the Pistons. So it's not like they're playing juggernaut opponents, but they're failing to cover the spread. That certainly stands out to me. So as much as I like the Kings on the spread, it hasn't been a very good bet of late. If we do look at the total over the last few weeks, since January 1st, the over has gone 8-4 when the Kings are at home. If I were to break that down since February 1st, the Kings have gone 3-3 straight up. They're 1-5 against the spread since February 1st, and the over's gone 5-1. This is a tough one for me to bet. I'm not going to bet as much as I want to take the over-under, I'm not going to bet the total. However, I kind of like the idea of taking the Kings on the spread, but not by the 6.5 right now. I'm going to buy that down. You guys know I like the alternative lines. I can get the Kings at -3.5, at -175 on BetMGM, -190 on DraftKings, -192 on FanDuel. So I like the Kings to cover the spread, but by 3.5 points. Their average margin of difference so far this since February 1st is just by 2 points. So as much as I do like the Kings on the money line, I am a little bit nervous about this spread play. I'm not going to overthink this one though. I will take the Kings -3.5. I do think they win by 4 points or more, but I do think there might be a moment in this game where I'm sweating that, but I do want to make you aware of it. So our picks for this past game, Kings on the money line, Kings minus 3.5. Okay? I am going to quickly, forgive me, because I actually am going to place my NHL bets right now. The first game drops puck at 1 o'clock, so I want to make sure I get my picks in right now. So give me a 2-second pause, everybody. I want to make sure I get my NHL picks right now. That way I don't lose out on my window, okay? So give me one quick second. We pull up our other computer to get our bets in. So, and actually this gives me an opportunity to recap the NHL picks. Yep, hero, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to recap my NHL picks as I place them live right now, okay? I am taking the Oilers on the money line. Oilers on the money line. I am taking the Penguins plus 1.5. I would also take the Penguins at plus 2.5, but I'd put that into some parlays. That's how I would treat that. I am taking in the over-under, I am taking the Oilers and Oilers and Penguins under 7 and under 7.5, everybody. Next one, I am taking the Predators plus 1.5. I am taking the Hurricanes on the money line. I am taking the Flames and Hurricanes under 7. That's Flames and Hurricanes under 7 goals. Next bet that we have is the Coyotes on the money line and the Islanders on the money line. So I just placed all of my bets right now, putting a unit down on each one of them. Boom, we just did that. I also am going to put a couple of same game parlays in there for you. I'm going to do Oilers on the money line. I would also take the Penguins plus 2.5. I'd make that a same game parlay. That's Penguins plus 2.5. Oilers on the money line. Oh, I've got to switch that to a same game parlay. Forgive me. So, Oilers on the money line. And then the Penguins plus 2.5. Oh, they're not letting me do that. Too bad. The sportsbooks get smart about the NHL. They don't give out too many same game parlays for that one. I will do a couple of parlays, though, just because I like the opportunity to take those. So a few parlays that I do have for the NHL. I would take the Oilers on the money line. I would take the Flames and the Hurricanes under 7. Flames and Hurricanes under 7. Actually, if I take Oilers on the money line and Flames and Hurricanes under 7.5, that's plus a 121 bet. That's actually worth it to me. That's a good return on the bet. Now let's flip it over. If I take the Penguins plus 2.5, and then I take the Flames and the Hurricanes under 7.5, what's the bet I can get on that? Minus 133. I like that one as well. So I'm kind of all over on that early game. I like Oilers on the money line. I like the Penguins to cover. I'm folding that into a few of my parlays. Let's continue to put a few of those parlays together. Oilers and Penguins under 7.5. And then combining that with Hurricanes on the money line, I can get that at plus 103. Again, these are just 2-leg parlays. I gotta tell you guys, I gotta warn you, do not build heavy parlays. Parlays make so much money for the sports books. When you actually look at the data behind how the sports books make their money, parlays is how they make their money. It's so hard to hit a 4, 5, 6 or more leg parlay that the sports books cash in on that. As I like to joke, parlays are the reason that Vegas isn't a town in Nevada, it's a city in Nevada, because they make so much money on parlays. So if you're going to do a parlay, do 2 legs, do 3 legs, or just like Hunter is saying, do some round robins. Round robins are available on DraftKings. I don't know if it's available on FanDuel or other sports books, but a round robin allows you to take a parlay and take it at smaller bets. So say I have four bets that I like, 4 legs of a parlay. If I do a round robin, I have bet A, bet B, bet C, and bet D. That means if I put them in two leg parlays in the round robin, it goes A and B, A and C, A and D, B and C, B and D, and then C and D. So if one of those misses, you still are cashing money. You're still probably profitable on those bets. DJ is letting me know it's on FanDuel as well. So guys, if you're putting together a parlay that's more than 3 legs, consider a round robin. That way, if you just miss one of them, you still have the opportunity to cash your money, get some return on the investment. But when you put together a 5-leg parlay or more, the chances of you actually hitting that are very, very small. One of my things that I actually hate right now on social media is you see these like crazy parlays that people are putting together and everyone's like, look, this guy put down a $5 parlay and he ended up making like $500,000. That's bullshit. That's like a unicorn. That's someone telling me they saw a UFO out in New Mexico. They may have. It doesn't mean that I'm going to go out there looking with my binoculars. Be very, very careful about building parlays. Make sure they're 2 or 3 legs. Don't get crazy. I know the opportunity to get a huge return on the investment sounds good, but do you actually know anyone who took a $10 bet on a parlay and ended up making $100,000? If they do, they're probably doing it for a living. So just be very, very careful, everybody. Okay. By the way, Doghouse Breaks, my favorite play of the day so far is Heat on the money line, everybody. Heat on the money line is my favorite bet of the day so far. Okay, everyone, let's get back to our NBA research. We're going back to the NBA. The next game we have on the schedule is the Pelicans and the Atlanta Hawks. These two teams are playing in Atlanta. Pelicans are the favorite. They're a 6.5-point favorite. And the Hawks, let's see how the money's coming down on this game. 97% of the tickets are on the Pelicans to win. 97% of the tickets are on the Pelicans to win. 97% of the tickets are on the Pelicans to cover the spread. 98% of the money is on the Pelicans to cover the spread. The public and the money love the Pelicans. The public and the money love the Pelicans. There's something to that, everybody. We'll have to dive into it. Let's go look at the injury report, everyone. So, DeJounte Murray is a game-time decision. That's big news. DeJounte Murray is a game-time decision. Obviously, Trae Young is out, but the fact that DeJounte Murray is a game-time decision with a left calf bruise certainly stands out to me. Jalen Johnson is still out with a right ankle sprain. The only person who's out for the Pelicans is Dyson Daniels. So the Pelicans certainly have an advantage on the injury report. Let's see if they also have an advantage on the trends. We're going to Pelicans. We're going to Hawks. We want to see how these two teams have done against each other in Atlanta over the last few years. Since 2018, these two teams have played in Atlanta 4 times. The Pelicans have gone just 1-3 straight up, 1-3 against the spread. However, the Pelicans were an underdog in all 4 of those games. They're a favorite today. So the circumstances behind that aren't really applicable today, so we kind of throw that out. Let's go look at how the Pelicans have done as a road favorite this season. When the Pelicans have been a road favorite, the Pelicans have gone 11-5 straight up. They've been a really good team as a road favorite this season. However, against the spread, not as good. They've gone 7-8-1 against the spread this season, all season long, as a road favorite. The over-under has split at 8-8, so nothing about the total stands out to me. Now, let's narrow that sample size. Let's see if there's something there. Pelicans, as a road favorite since the start of January, since January 1st, the Pelicans have been a road favorite 9 times. They've gone 7-2 straight up. Love that. Pelicans as a road favorite has been a very strong play. How about against the spread? Over those 9 games since January 1st, when the Pelicans have been a road favorite, they've gone 4-4-1 against the spread. Not great, but we're going to narrow that sample size. It gets a little bit better when we do that. As for the over-under, the under has gone 5-4 over those 9 games since January 1st when the Pelicans are a road favorite. Now let's break down that sample size even more. Since February 1st, how have the Pelicans been on the road as a favorite? They have gone 6-1 on the straight up, 6-1 straight up. They've gone 3-3-1 against the spread, and most notably, the under has gone 5-2 when the Pelicans have been a road favorite since February 1st. So over the last 5-6 weeks, Pelicans on the money line has been a great play when they're a road favorite, and the under's been a good play. Let's go look at the Hawks now. The Hawks, as a home underdog in the 2023 season. They're 2-6 straight up. They're 2-6 against the spread, and the over's gone 5-3. So I can say right now, because I feel very good about it, we are taking Pelicans on the money line, everybody. Pelicans on the money line is definitely a bet that we like today. Again, you may want to put in a parlay. Heat on the money line, Pelicans on the money line. That's actually a two-leg parlay that I feel really good about. Definitely stands out to me. As for the total, let's dive into that total a little bit more. When the Hawks have been at home in 2024, how have they done? Whether as a favorite or as an underdog. The Hawks have gone 12-7 as a home team in 2024. Against the spread, they've gone 10-9. The under has gone 10-9 as well. So kind of interesting there. How about since February 1st? Since February 1st, the Hawks have actually gone 6-3 straight up at home. They've been pretty good at home. They have a 3-game winning streak at home. They've covered the spread in all 3 games. However, they were a favorite in every one of those games. They're an underdog today. So far since February 1st, when they have been an underdog, they've gone 1-1. So not a lot of data there. The one thing that does stand out, though, the under's gone 5-4 since February 1st when they're at home, and the under is hit in 3 straight games. Any data that we're really excited about? I kind of like the under in this game. If I had to go anywhere, the under kind of stands out to me. But I don't love it enough. I'm kind of on the fence. The under right now, under 220.5 is the total. It opened at 221.5. It went up to 223 and has since come down to 220.5. I'm not loving it. I'm not loving the total. However, I could take the under at like 227.5. You could get under 227.5 at minus 210 on FanDuel, DraftKings, and BetMGM. I think I like that one. The injury, the status of DeJounte Murray certainly impacts it. But I'm willing to actually put a unit down on this. Pelicans, Hawks, under 227.5. That's going to be the next bet that we place on this one. Again, the picks we have for this game, Pelicans on the money line, and Pelicans Hawks under 227.5. Appreciate you guys being with us. If you're new to Butt Fumble Sports, I give away my picks every day for free. During the show, we do our research so you guys hear how I'm going about it. I like to think of myself as the Benihana of sports betting. We're literally putting the meal together right in front of you so you see what's going into all of it. That said, I give away all of my picks for free every day. I know there are now a lot of accounts on social media that do sports betting advice, but a lot of those places charge you for their picks. What a bunch of losers. What a bunch of jackasses. I give away my picks for free because you guys work hard for your money. You guys shouldn't be paying me for my picks. I give away this research for free. I give away my picks for free because I'm a sports fan just like you. I love doing the research. I love talking sports with you, but I will never, ever, ever charge you for a pick. You want to donate to the show? I'm grateful for it. I love having you guys as subscribers. This is my company, so it's great to have a little bit of money coming in, but I will never, ever, ever charge you for any pick that I ever make. I give away my picks for free every day. If you want to get access to my picks, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks for free. You guys can check them out. You can follow them. You can fade them. That's entirely up to you. But that way you can see the bets that I like every day based on the trends, the data, the matchups that we're looking at every single day. With that said, I'm going to recap the picks that we make for the NBA after the next game we look at in case any of you guys missed them. Let's go to the next game on the schedule. Next game we're going to look at is 76ers and Knicks. 76ers and Knicks are playing at Madison Square Garden tonight at 7. Let's look at how the public's betting this one. So far, 92% of the tickets are on the Knicks to win. 75% of the tickets are on the Knicks to cover the spread. We don't have any data around how the money's coming down. Wish we did. We don't right now. Let's go take a look at this game in greater detail. And before we do anything, the injury report, everybody. Wow. The 76ers are a shamble. They are a ghost team. No Robert Covington, no Joel Embiid, no Tyrese Maxey, no D'Anthony Melton. So the star power is gone. The star power for the 76ers is not playing today. How about for the Knicks? Obviously, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson are all out, but Jalen Brunson is not on the injury report, so we expect him to play. Certainly makes me feel better about the Knicks in this one. Knicks right now are a 7.5-point favorite. It opened at -6. It went up to 8. It's since come down to 7.5. So I assume it's going to live around that 7-8 mark, given that the injury report really doesn't favor the 76ers. Let's go look at the trends. 76ers and the Knicks. When these two teams have played in New York over the last few years, wow. The 76ers have gone 8-2 straight up over the last few years playing against the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. Now, obviously, those games involve Joel Embiid. Those games involve Tyrese Maxey. Some of them involve James Harden. So, do I take a lot of information from this past the past matchups? I really don't. There's not enough there. That said, the 76ers have gone 5-5 against the spread against the Knicks in New York over that span of time. And the under has been a much better play. The under has been very good. The under has gone 7-3 in the last 10 meetings between the two teams in New York. Again, take that with a massive grain of salt, but I want to make you guys aware of it just so you know what the historical matchup has been. Now let's break things down by some more recent trends. Let's look at how the 76ers have done as a road underdog this year. 76ers as a road underdog have gone 4-11 straight up. They've gone 7-8 against the spread. They've gone 8-7 towards the over. That said, let's break this down even more. When the 76ers are a road underdog since the start of the new year, since January 1st, they've gone 3-5 straight up. They've gone 4-4 against the spread. The over-under has been even at 4-4. Not a lot of data there that I really like. And again, the fact that Tyrese Maxey's out today, but he probably played in some of those games, kind of throws off that data. So what we're really going to look at is how have the Knicks done as a home favorite. That's going to be more important to us. So far in this season, the Knicks have been a home favorite 23 times. They've gone 18-5 straight up. Love that. They've gone 13-10 against the spread. Actually, too, the margin of difference in those 23 games has been about 10 points. So they've done a good job of not just covering a spread, but getting above the 7.5, 8-point spread that we're talking about for today's game. As for the total, the Knicks have been a very good underplay this season as a home favorite. They've gone 15-8 towards the under as a home favorite. Now, that's over the course of the entire season. You guys know we want to break down that sample size even more, and we want to look at how the Knicks have done at home since the start of the new year. Whether as a favorite or whether as an underdog, the Knicks have gone 13-8 at home in 2024. They've gone 10-11 against the spread. They actually have been, wow, we have a trend for you. We'll break it down in a moment, but I'll save that one. The under has gone 17-4. 17-4 when the Knicks are at home in 2024. The under has been an incredibly good play so far this calendar year when the Knicks are at home. Let's break that down even more. Since February 1st, since the start of February, the Knicks have gone 4-7 straight up. They've only gone 2-9 against the spread. The Knicks actually had a 9-game against the spread losing streak from February 3rd all the way until March 5th. So they have been really struggling against the spread since February 1st. That may actually throw us away from the spread. It's one of the reasons I actually don't like the spread in this game, because the Knicks haven't been covering it consistently. However, we do like the under. The under has gone 8-3 since February 1st when the Knicks are at home, and specifically, since February 10th, the under has gone 2, 4, 6-1 since February 10th. So I love the Knicks on the money line. That's going to be the next bet we give out. Knicks on the money line. I also like 76ers and Knicks on the under. Let's go take a look at where we like it, though. The total for this game is set at over under 211.5 points. It opened at that spot. It went down to 210.5 and then climbed back up to 211.5. So far that total is holding pretty true. You guys know I don't want to fall for the traps. I want to get even the slightest edge on the sports books, so I will take an alternative total. Where are we going to take it? Under 216.5, everyone. Under 216.5 is available at BetMGM at -185, FanDuel at -192, and on DraftKings at -195. That's where we're going to take this one, under 216.5. Let me recap all the NBA picks we've given out so far during the show. By the way, we've been live for an hour and 50 minutes, everybody. So if you guys think I'm not really diving into the research, you guys are seeing it live. This is the research I do every day to make sure we're sniffing out the best bets that we could possibly find across the sports world. Here's a recap of all of our NBA bets, everybody. Here are all of our NBA bets we've given out so far. My favorite bet of the day. I'll never call something a lock. You guys know I hate that term. There's no such thing as a lock in sports betting. But there are times I have a favorite bet of the day. My favorite bet of the day is Heat on the money line. Heat on the money line is my favorite bet of the day, regardless of the sport, the type of bet, or the odds. Heat on the money line is my favorite bet of the day. Here are the rest of my picks for the NBA so far. I like the Clippers +9.5. I like the Bucks and Clippers under 228.5. I like the Magic on the money line. I like the Magic -1.5. I like Pacers Magic under 230.5. I like the Kings on the money line. I like the Kings -3.5. I like the Pelicans on the money line. I like Pelicans Hawks under 227.5. I like the Knicks on the money line, and I like 76ers and Knicks under 216.5. For all of those just joining the show, I give away my picks for free every day. They're never behind a paywall. You never have to send me money for them. They're always transparent and available to you guys every day for free. All you have to do is DM me on Instagram. Buttfumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. I'm giving you the research. I'm giving you the picks for free. I'm grateful for you guys following the show, subscribing. If you want to give gifts to the show, obviously I'm grateful for it. But I promise, I will never, ever, ever charge you for any of my picks because you work hard for your money. You guys should be putting your money towards your bets, not towards paying for my picks. That's a promise I make from me to you that I will never, ever break. My picks are free every single day. Let's move on to the next pick, everybody. Next game we're going to be focusing on is going to be the Nets and the Cavaliers. We have 3 games left in the NBA. Once we're done with our NBA game picks, we will do NBA player prop bets. So just because we've gone through college basketball game picks, we've gone through NHL game picks, we're finishing up the NBA game picks right now. Once that's done, we will do NBA player prop bets. So we still have a lot to get to, everyone. Next NBA game on the docket is going to be the Nets and Cavaliers. Nets and Cavaliers tips off at 7 o'clock tonight. Right now, 91% of the tickets are coming in on the Cavaliers. 91% of the tickets are on the Cavaliers on the spread. As for the total, 66% of the tickets are on the under. Dan Lee, my college basketball picks are both on the SHARPZ app and on Instagram. I put them in my Instagram story, Dan. Put them on my Instagram story. They're already up there. Okay, let's go look at the injury report for the Nets and Cavaliers. Cameron Johnson is out for this game. As for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell is out. Evan Mobley is out. Max Strus is out. So the injury report, Dean Wade is out, by the way. Dean Wade is out. That's announced just 7 minutes ago. Dean Wade is out for a personal reason. So the injury report certainly favors the Brooklyn Nets. Interesting that they're a heavy underdog right now at +7.5. Let's go look at some trends. The Nets and Cavaliers, when they have played in Cleveland over the last few years, the Nets have gone 5-3 straight up, 4-4 against the spread, 5-3 towards the over. More notably, in the last 5 games that these two teams have played in Cleveland. The Cavaliers have gone 4-1. Very interesting there. Let's go take a look at how the Nets have done more recently. When the Nets have been a road underdog this season, they've gone 6-15 straight up. They've gone 8-13 against the spread, and the under is 13-8 as well. In fact, the Nets, as a road underdog, have lost and failed to cover the spread in 4 straight games, 5 of their last 6, and if we extend this out, since December 14th, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, they've played 12 games as a road underdog since December 14th. They've only won 2 of those games, they've only covered 2 of those games. So there's a lot of reasons to kind of be fading the Nets as a road underdog. By the way, the average margin of difference is about 10 points. So that 7.5 point spread, there's a reason actually that could be a bit of a trap. By the way, Carter, when do I go live every day? I go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, I'm live on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. On the weekends, I usually come on at about 11 o'clock in the morning. So on the weekends, 11 a.m. East Coast Standard Time, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you guys hit the follow button. Hope you guys join us for every show, because I love seeing those familiar handles in the chat. Now, let's go look at some of the trends more recently for the Nets. When they have been a road underdog in 2024, they're 2-7 straight up. They're 2-7 against the spread, and the under is 6-3. During that 4-game road losing streak as an underdog where they failed to cover all 4 games, the under has also hit in all 4 games. So we really don't like the Nets, but the under might be a really good play on this one. Let's go look at the Cavaliers now. When the Cavaliers have been a home favorite during the course of the season, they've gone 18-7 straight up, 12-12-1 against the spread, and the over has a slight advantage at 13-11-1. Not enough of an advantage towards the over to get me discouraged about the under, but I do make note of it. How about how the Cavaliers have done at home since 2024 started? So far this calendar year, the Cavaliers have played at home 8 times. They've gone 5-3 straight up, only 3-5 against the spread though, and the over actually has the advantage at 5-3. How about when the Cavaliers have been a home favorite in 2024? Interesting to note. When the Cavaliers have been a home favorite this calendar year, they've gone 4-3 straight up, 2-5 against the spread, and the over has gone 5-2. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot of data that we like from this game. There is one more trend that I want to look at though, because it might provide a little bit more information. The Nets played yesterday, so I want to look at how these two teams have done when either they've played on the second night of a back-to-back or their opponent has. Obviously, we're talking about each team. So when the Cavaliers have played an opponent on the second night of a back-to-back, they've gone 9-3 straight up, 9-3 against the spread, and more notably, the under's gone 7-5 when the Cavaliers have played an opponent who's on 0 days of rest. So, what do we like in this game? We do like the Cavaliers on the money line. Putting that one on the board right now, Cavaliers on the money line is the play I like. But let's look at how the Nets have done when they're on the second night of a back-to-back to see if that under continues to be a good play. On the second night of a back-to-back, the Nets are 3-7 straight up, 3-6-1 against the spread. Really interesting to note here. The margin of difference in these 10 games that the Nets have played on the road, when the Nets have played on 0 days of rest, they've actually had a margin of difference of 13 points. So all of a sudden that minus 7.5 in favor of the Cavaliers doesn't look as bad. The over-under has split at 5-5. I want to take the under in this game. I don't have enough confidence in it, so I'm not going to bet the total. Don't have enough confidence in it. For the spread, it's really interesting to me. I want to take the Cavaliers, but I don't like it at minus 7.5. Where's a good spot to take it? Right now, Cavaliers minus 3.5 is available at minus 190 on BetMGM, minus 194 on FanDuel, and minus 205 on DraftKings. That's actually a spot that I feel comfortable taking it. Do I mean that, though? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Just looking at the data, just making sure. I do like that. I would take Cavaliers minus 3.5. Really, I like it a lot more at minus 2.5. I'm not going to lie. That might mean you put it into a same game parlay, something like that. But I certainly believe that the Cavaliers can cover a 3-point spread. I'm hoping they can cover a 4-point spread. I like Cavaliers on the money line. I'm willing to take them minus 3.5. I prefer them at minus 2.5. By the way, Hunter, we've already put out our college basketball picks. They're all on the SHARPZ app, or they're already up on my Instagram story. So if you want to go check those out, you should do so now. Okay, we have 2 more NBA games to get to before we shift over to NBA player prop bets. Next game we're going to look at is Memphis Grizzlies against the Thunder. So far, 65% of the tickets are on the Thunder to win. 48% of the tickets are on the Thunder to cover. Only 48% of the tickets are on the Thunder to cover. That's 48% of the tickets on the Thunder to cover. 83% of the money is on the Thunder to cover, though. The spread for this game is 14.5. A massive spread. So certainly a reason for you guys to be a little hesitant about the spread, but maybe we'll find something in the trends that backs up why the money is so heavily going towards the Thunder. Let's quickly look at the injury report. Man, oh wow. I have never seen an injury report like this in my life. The Grizzlies have so many players on the injury report. Obviously, you know about Brandon Clark, Desmond Bane, John Morant, Scottie Pippen. Derrick Rose. We already know about that. But G.G. Jackson, Jordan Goodwin, Luke Kennard. These are all game-time decisions. Vince Williams, a game-time decision. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 players listed on the Memphis Grizzlies injury report. The Thunder don't have anyone on the injury report. That may explain why the spread is so favoring the Oklahoma City Thunder. The spread for this game opened at 13.5, went up to 15.5, then came down to 14.5. So a little bit of movement there. Let's go dive into the trends and see if there's something we can sink our teeth into. Grizzlies against the Thunder over the last few years in Oklahoma City. As we wait for the killersports.com to load. Okay. Since 2018, the Grizzlies have played the Thunder in Oklahoma City 10 times. They've gone 3-7 straight up. They've lost their last 3 games against the Thunder in OKC, and they failed to cover the spread 4 straight games against the Thunder in OKC. Keep in mind, too, the under's gone 3-0 in the last 3 meetings between these two teams in Oklahoma City. Now, let's look at how the Grizzlies have done as a road underdog in 2023. Road underdog in 2023, Grizzlies have actually done better than people think. As a road underdog all season long, they've only gone 12-14 straight up, so they haven't been awful. I usually like to say dog poop on your porch in summertime when a team stinks. Grizzlies don't qualify for that. They've actually been right around 500 as a road underdog. That's straight up. Against the spread, the Grizzlies have gone 16-10 against the spread as a road underdog. So, and by the way, in their last 2, 4, 6, 8 games as a road underdog, they've covered the spread in 7 of those last 8 games as a road underdog. So the Grizzlies have been phenomenal at covering the spread. However, the injury report is very much sticking in my mind as maybe a reason why that data and those trends aren't as applicable today as they have been over the last 2-3 weeks. So definitely something to keep in mind. However, the over has also gone 16-10 when the Grizzlies have been a road underdog. Kind of interesting there. I think a lot of people make assumptions about the Grizzlies without actually knowing the data behind them. This is why we break down these trends. Let's take a look at the Grizzlies as a road underdog since the start of the new year. Since the start of 2024, they are only 7-6 straight up. So their real success as a road underdog for the most part came last year. Obviously, John Morant, for the few weeks he was there, might have made a bit of an impact. However, they've gone 10-3 against the spread as a road underdog in 2024. Again, really good. The teams that they failed to cover the spread against were the Timberwolves, the Bulls and the Celtics. So two of the best teams in the NBA they failed to cover against. Other than that, they've covered every other game. So 10-3 against the spread in 2024 as a road underdog. Very interesting to note. Let's continue to look at the total now. The over has gone 9-4 when the Grizzlies are a road underdog in 2024. And the over's gone 5-0 in the last 5 games they've played as a road underdog. So we make assumptions about the Grizzlies, whether it's about they play defense or they're a bad road team or they suck against the spread. Those things just simply aren't true based on the data. Now, let's take a look at how the Oklahoma City Thunder have done as a home favorite. So far this entire season, the Thunder have gone 23-3 straight up as a home favorite, so they've been phenomenal there. They've gone 18-8 against the spread as a home favorite, phenomenal there. As for the total, over-under's gone 12-2, so literally as flat as it can get there. Nothing really about the total that excites us. However, the Thunder have won 2, 4, 6, 8 straight games at home as a favorite, and they've covered the spread in 4 of their last 5, 5 of their last 7. So there's actually a bit of a reason to believe that the Thunder on the money line is a phenomenal play. Against the spread's tricky for me. Both trends suggest the teams are good against the spread in these scenarios. The injury report for the Grizzlies, that's what's throwing off the thinking. I will take the Thunder on the money line. I'm not going to beat around the bush on this one. I'm not going to touch the spread, and I'm not going to touch the total. I just don't know enough. Injury reports being what they are, it feels like the Thunder should get a very big win, but I don't have enough information, I don't have enough confidence, so I'm going to avoid it. Let me make sure I let all of you guys watching, there are about 130 people, 135 people watching across all of our platforms right now. If you guys don't like a bet, if you don't have a constellation of variables, 3, 4, 5 things, all pointing in the same direction, don't throw your money away. Don't bet on something if you don't have conviction behind it. There's no pressure. No one's going to peer shame you. There is no pressure to place a bet on something unless you really feel strongly about it. Don't chase winning. You will end up losing. So unless you have real conviction behind something, do not bet it. If the trends all point in a direction and maybe you don't feel great about it, maybe you're willing to put half a unit down on it. Maybe you're willing to take a chance. But if you don't feel good about it and there are conflicting trends, keep your money in your pocket. Put that money towards another bet. There is no reason to just throw your money at things unnecessarily. Be wise with it. Be conservative. I will always tell you guys, be smart about how you bet. There's no pressure from me to bet on every game. Bet on everything that I'm putting out there. Bet with what you're comfortable with. That's what matters most. Okay, we take the Thunder on the money line. That is the next bet that we just gave out. We have one more game left in the NBA on the schedule right now, and that is the Timberwolves and the Lakers. Timberwolves and Lakers. Really interesting how the public and how the money's coming down on this game. 51% of the tickets are on the Timberwolves to win. 93% of the money is on the Lakers to win. I'll say it one more time in case some of you are new to the show. When we see that discrepancy, when the public tickets are going one direction, but the money is going the other direction, follow the money. The money knows more than the public. Does the money know anything? Does the public know anything? Usually not. The public usually bets with its guts, with its eyes. It goes, man, Anthony Edwards is awesome. Bet the Timberwolves. The money knows things. The money does this for a living in ways the public does not. So when you see the public tickets go one direction, the money going the other, follow the money. That's usually a better play. As for the spread in this one, the spread right now is 1.5. The Lakers are a 1.5 point favorite. 56% of the tickets are on the Timberwolves to cover the spread. 87% of the money is on the Lakers to cover the spread. Guys, there's something telling us the Lakers could be a good bet today. Let's dive into it. We're going to look at the trends between the two teams when they've played in LA over the last few years. We're looking Timberwolves, we're looking Lakers. When they've played in Los Angeles since 2018, the Timberwolves have gone 3-6 straight up. They have gone 6-3 against the spread. They've actually covered the spread in 4 straight games against the Lakers in LA. And the under has gone 7-2. So the under has actually been a very good play over the last 9 games between these two teams. Let's take a look at the Timberwolves as a road underdog. Really important on this one. The fact that, before I do that, I should check the injury report. Never want to miss the injury report. Always impacts our thinking, just as we noticed from that Grizzlies-Thunder matchup. So, most notably, let's look at the injury report for this one. So, Anthony Edwards is a game-time decision. Anthony Edwards is a game-time decision, left ankle soreness. LeBron James is a game-time decision. Anthony Davis is a game-time decision. Cam Reddish is a game-time decision. Now, I know LeBron James sat last game, but he's been actually on the injury report as questionable or a game-time decision for a bunch of weeks now. So I don't actually overreact to that. There's actually some reason to kind of assume he's going to play. I know he didn't play last game, but still, kind of like that. Thanks, Jennifer. Appreciate you letting us know about those Oilers. By the way, the injury report website, Dean, it's the same site I use for all of my research. Outlier. Outlier is the best sports betting research tool on the market. Outlier. You do have to pay for it. It does require a $20 subscription per month. But if you want a free 7-day trial, DM me on Instagram. I'll give you the referral code so you can get a free 7-day trial for Outlier. It is by far the best sports betting research tool I have ever used. And in case you guys haven't heard me say this enough, I've worked at ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, CBS Interactive for CBS Sports HQ, and I've been a producer for Jim Rome, so I've used a lot of sports betting research tools over the last 15 years of my career. Outlier is by far the best one. It aggregates data. It allows me to sort through that data incredibly well. It allows me to comparison shop between the different sports books to find the best bets, and it shows the injury reports, as well as telling me how the public and how the money is betting each game. For my money, I do not think there is a better way to get information to find the best bets than Outlier. The other website I use is killersports.com, KILLER sports.com. That website's for free, but you have to do the combing through all the data to find what you want, where Outlier, it does it for you. It's phenomenal. So if you want a free 7-day trial for Outlier, DM me on Instagram. So we just went through the injury report. Really quick, I just want to note this. Just to talk about the money, the line movement on this one, the Lakers opened as a 1-point underdog. They're now a 1.5-point favorite. That's important to me because when the Lakers are a favorite, they're much different in terms of record than they are as an underdog. That'll impact our thinking. So, Timberwolves and Lakers, when they played in LA over the last few years, Timberwolves have gone 3-6 straight up, 6-3 against the spread, and the under's gone 7-2. How about how the Timberwolves have done as a road underdog during this season? They have been a road underdog 12 times, and despite the Timberwolves being such a good team this year, they actually have a losing record as a road underdog. They've gone 5-7 straight up, 6-6 against the spread. The over has gone 7-5, but the under has gone 3-1 in their last 4 games as a road underdog. That said, they have won 3 of those 4, and they've covered the spread in 4 of their last 5. Now, a bunch of those games did feature Karl Anthony Towns, so again, grain of salt involving that. Let's narrow that sample size. When the Timberwolves have been a road underdog since the start of February, since February 1st, they're 2-1 straight up. The under is 2-1 as well. They've covered the spread 2 out of those 3 games. Those 3 games were against the Clippers, Pacers, and Cavaliers. Obviously, that Cavaliers game is the last game we saw them play. Scott Foster had his fingers in the honeypot on that one, so maybe you want to disregard that one as well. But that said, they are a 1-point underdog today. How have the Lakers been as a home favorite this season? When the Lakers have been a home favorite at Crypto.com Arena, they've gone 18-6 straight up. Like I said, they've been a much better team straight up as a home favorite than opposed to a home underdog. Against the spread, the Lakers have gone 11-13 against the spread as a home favorite all season long, and the under has gone 12-11-1. So the total in this game, I don't really like it. No trends that really stand out to me so far. Not going to put too much stock into it. However, when the Lakers have been a home favorite, they've won 5 of their last 6, but they failed to cover 3 straight games as a home favorite. Now, the spread for this game is just 1 point. So if I do like the Lakers on the money line, I do like the Lakers minus 1.5. I'll let you know that right now. Let's continue to dive into the trends. Lakers as a home favorite since February 1st. They're 4-1 straight up, 1-3 against the spread, as mentioned. But I do like the Lakers today. Given that the injuries to the Timberwolves are mounting, don't know if Anthony Edwards is going to play. He's questionable. I think LeBron James and Anthony Davis play. I'll take Lakers on the money line. I will also take Lakers -1. I'll take them on that -1 spread because at worst, it's going to be a push. If I think the Lakers win, then a 1-point difference. Sure, they could win by just 1 point. I get my money back. So it feels like an advantageous play for me there. Okay, everybody, those are all of our NBA picks that we've given out so far. We have been live now for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yes, I've been talking the whole time. I'm sure some of you are like, man, this guy can just go. And that is certainly the case. Let me recap all of my NBA picks right now, okay, everybody? I'm going to give out all of my NBA picks right now, and then we're going to go do NBA player prop bet research, okay? But first, here are all the NBA picks that we just researched over the last hour and a half. My favorite bet of the day is Heat on the money line. Regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, regardless of the odds, Heat on the money line is my favorite bet of the day. I also like Clippers +9.5. Bucks and Clippers under 228.5. Magic on the money line. Magic -1.5. Pacers under 230.5. Kings on the money line. Kings -3.5. Pelicans on the money line. Pelicans and Hawks under 227.5. Knicks on the money line. 76ers and Knicks under 216.5. Cavaliers on the money line. Cavaliers -3.5. Cavaliers -2.5. Depends where you can find it. Thunder on the money line. Lakers on the money line. And Lakers -1 today. Those are all of the NBA picks that we have given out so far during the show. If you missed any of the bets that we've given out so far, DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks for free. You never have to pay for them. They're never behind a paywall. I have incredible transparency with all of my picks. Once the show is over, all of them will be on the SHARPZ app. I'll even put them on my Instagram story. DM me on Instagram, Butt Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make every single day for free. I will never, ever, ever charge you for a single one of my picks. Aaron, can you go over the over-unders again, please? Sure. One more time. I have 4 total plays in the NBA schedule. I like Bucks and Clippers under 228.5. I like Pacers and Magic under 230.5. I like Pelicans and Hawks under 227.5. And I like 76ers and Knicks under 216.5. Those are the total plays that I have for today. Oh, wow. We have done college basketball game picks. We have done NHL game picks. And guess what, everybody? It is now time for player prop bets. Let's go. NBA player prop bets is the next place we're going to go. The way I go about doing my player prop bets every day, I go to Outlier. Andres, I'm not going to say him again. Sorry, buddy. We just did that. So, we're going to look at player prop bets. The way we go about our player prop bets, I go to Outlier, I go to props, and I like to put in points, rebounds, and assists. I like to look at how each team does in terms of their matchup against each position. I want to look at which teams do poorly against certain positions, and if there's then a trend involving that player. Let's start by looking at the Bucks and Clippers. Bucks and Clippers, here's a good place to start. By the way, we're now getting some word. The injury report has been updated. Wow. Injury report for the Clippers has been updated. Paul George is a game-time decision. James Harden is a game-time decision. Kawhi Leonard is a game-time decision. That has been an updated injury report. I still have Clippers +9.5. I'm not fading that. But the Bucks Clippers under 228.5 looking a whole lot better right now based on that. Unfortunately, I haven't placed that bet yet because I did my research with you guys. So yes, being with you does cost me some opportunity, but so what? Okay, let's take a look now. Let's take a look at how this team has done, how the Bucks have done against certain positions. Bucks have struggled against point guards when it comes to scoring and centers when it's come to scoring. Let's see if there are any good bets to be taking here. Zubac. Zubac has a good matchup against the Bucks. Bucks are 27th in points allowed to centers, 24th in rebounds allowed, 28th in assists allowed. Leonard is out. Thank you for letting us know, Jay. Kawhi Leonard is out in this game. That'll impact our thinking a little bit. I'll let you know how. George and Leonard just got ruled out. Wow, Jay, that is massive news. Thank you for letting me know, guys. Really appreciate that. Okay, let's look at Zubac. His point total right now is set at 9.5. When he's at home, he has gone over 9.5 points in 7 of his last 10 games. Let's take a look at how he's done without Paul George in the lineup. He's actually covered this point total in 7 of his last 10 games. How about with Kawhi Leonard not in the lineup? He's gone over that point total only 2 of the 5 times he's played without Kawhi Leonard. So, Zubac over 9.5 points is actually a good play. I'll buy it down to over 8.5. He's gone over 8.5 points in 7 of 10 home games. Over the last 20 home games, Zubac has gone over 8.5 points, 16 of 20 home games. That is a great matchup. Hasn't been a great trend against the Bucks, but I do like it here. I'm taking Ivica Zubac over 9.5 points. Or is it over 8.5? Forgive me. That's over 8.5 points. Over 8.5 points. Let's take a quick look at rebounds. Rebounds could be another area where Zubac has success today. When it comes to rebounds, it's set at 8.5. He has gone over 8.5 in 11 of 20 games overall. 12 of his last 20 home games. How about without Kawhi Leonard? He has gone over 8.5 rebounds 12 of the 17 games he's played without Kawhi Leonard, and he's actually hit that in 4 straight games. I want to buy this down. Zubac over 7.5 rebounds. This is a phenomenal trend, everybody. Listen up. When Kawhi Leonard does not play, Zubac has gone over 7.5 rebounds in 15 of those 17 games. This is a great play. Zubac over 7.5 rebounds. I really like that play, everybody. Really like that play. That is a phenomenal play. Go check that one out right now where you place your player prop bets. That is a great bet based on the trends. Okay, I also want to look at James Harden really quick. James Harden's probably going to be shooting a little bit more today with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George out of the lineup. So even though the Bucks are actually not a very good defense against the shooting guard position, they're 21 in points allowed. Let's look at how James Harden has done when Paul George isn't in the lineup and Kawhi Leonard's not in the lineup. Not actually as good a trend as I would have liked. How about when there's no Kawhi Leonard, just him? Paul George James Harden, it's not where I want it. Right now his point total set at 17.5. I take it at 15.5. At 15.5, he's gone over that total 7 of the last 10 games without Kawhi Leonard. In the last 20 games without Kawhi Leonard, he's gone over that total 13 of the last 20 times. Head-to-head against the Bucks, though, he has gone over that total. I'm going to take this one. I'm going to take James Harden over 15.5 points. James Harden over 15.5 points. Next player prop bet we're going with. Lauren, we just got word of it. A couple people who are watching the show are letting us know that news was just released. We're just seeing them now as questionable on Outlier, but people are letting us know that James Harden's going to play, but Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are out for this game, so those certainly stand out. Let's go switch it now and look at how the Bucks are matching up. By the way, remember when we were looking at the Clippers and Bucks game like an hour and a half ago, and I was like, man, the line really moved from like -1.5 in favor of the Bucks to -5.5. Now we know why. And when I say the money knows something that the public doesn't, that's what I'm really talking about. That's one of the reasons we take the bets that we do. Okay, let's take a look at the Clippers. What positions do the Clippers struggle against defensively? Not really any of them. So there isn't a bet that I really like. Damian Lillard has been playing a whole lot better of late. His point total is set right now at 23.5. On the road, he's only covered that 5 times. if I want to take anything, Kawhi Leonard over 19.5 points. That's actually been a pretty good trend of late, but not enough data there for me to take it. I'm not going to take another player prop bet in this Bucks-Clippers game. Let's go to the next one. Wizards and Heat. Again, I start by looking at the matchups. Which positions have a good matchup? The powered forward position when it comes to assists has a good matchup. So let's go look at Kyle Kuzma, power forward for the Wizards. He's got a good matchup in terms of assists. The Miami Heat are 22nd in assists allowed to the power forward position. So, Kyle Kuzma, his assist total is set at 3.5. He's hit that in 3 straight games, 4 of his last 5. Hasn't been a great trend over his last 10, but on the road, it has been a better trend 6 of his last 10 games. How about head-to-head against the Miami Heat? Not as good a trend as I want. I'll probably avoid this one. Yeah, not enough here. So there isn't a bet I like on the Washington Wizards. Let's flip it around and let's look at the Miami Heat. Any matchups we like? Oh yeah, there is. There are a bunch of matchups we like. Bam Adebayo has a phenomenal matchup. The Wizards are 29th in points allowed to centers, 30th in rebounds allowed to centers, 20th in assists allowed to centers. Great opportunity to take Bam Adebayo. I want to first look at his rebound total. Right now, Bam's rebound total is set at 11. He actually hasn't hit that in a while. He's actually missed that in 8 straight games. Kind of surprising how consistently he was hitting this earlier in the year. There was a time Bam Adebayo was consistently hitting 11 rebounds. He hasn't done that in a while, though. A little bit concerning for me. Now, head-to-head against the Wizards, he has hit that in 2 of his last 3 games against the Wizards, but a little bit of an issue. Isaac, you're so right. It's been a very inconsistent Bam Adebayo over the last few weeks. Now, if I were to take it anywhere, over 9.5 rebounds feels like a very good play, but not according to the trends, so I'm not going to bet it as much as I want to. How about on points? His point total set at 20.5. If I were to buy it down to 18.5, it's a better trend. How about head-to-head against the Wizards? He's been around 18, 20 points consistently over his last 3 games against them. How about at home? At home, he has gone over 18.5 points in 12 of his last 20 games. Interesting there. I just don't like it enough. Bam Adebayo's inconsistency is impacting my thinking. How about Jimmy Butler? Let's look at Jimmy Butler's point total. Against the small forward position, the Wizards are 23rd in points allowed, 25th in rebounds allowed. Let's look at Jimmy Butler point total. It's set at 22.5. He has been consistently getting over 20 points, so I want to buy this down. I want to take Jimmy Butler at over 19.5 points. Jimmy Butler over 19... Oh, I screwed up. I've done that a couple times in the last few times I've done the show, which is annoying the bejesus out of me. Anyways, Jimmy Butler over 19.5 points. He has hit 20 points in 8 of his last 10 games. At home, he has gone he has hit over 19.5 points in 7 of his last 10 games. This is a good matchup for him. Looking against the Wizards, he's gone to at least 20 points in back-to-back game against the Wizards. I'm going to take this one. Jimmy Butler over 19.5 points. I think Jimmy Butler gets to 20. Are there any other bets that we like? Let's look at Duncan Robinson, everybody. Duncan Robinson, another small forward. He has been playing really well of late. His point total set at 20.5. I'm going to buy that down. I actually like it at 17.5. He's hit that in 9 of his last 10 games. He's hit that in 12 of his last 20 games. At home, he has hit that in 10 of his last 20 home games. It's not great, but against the Wizards, he got 25. Oh, that's not what I want. Sorry. Looking at his point total, his point total is set at 14.5. Duncan Robinson's point total is 14.5. I want that at 12.5. Not as good a trend as I would have liked. I was looking at points and assists when I was giving that answer a moment ago. It's too bad. I like Duncan Robinson at over 11.5 points. He's hit that in 3 straight games. Let's take a look when Tyler Hero's out of the lineup. Duncan Robinson's actually gone over 11.5 points in 7 of the last 10 games without Tyler Hero. So I will take this one as well. I actually think Duncan Robinson gets there. Duncan Robinson over 11.5 points. Hey, he just needs 4 threes, and he certainly can do that. Someone's asking about Terry Rozier. Let's take a look at Terry Rozier, specifically on assists. Great matchup. Isaiah Robert, you're nailing it, buddy. That is a great find by you. The Wizards are 29th in assists allowed to opponents, specifically small forwards. So a really good opportunity, shooting guards rather. Let's look at Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier on assists. His assist total is set at 5.5. Not a very consistent trend. Consistently, he's been around 4 or 5. Not a great trend here. How about head-to-head against the Wizards? It's been at 5. I don't love the trend at 5.5. I like it at 4.5. It's not as good a spot. Not great odds on it, but if I were to take it, Terry Rozier over 4.5, that's what I'd be willing to take, but not a great trend at 5.5. It's a bit of a risk there. I will take it at the over 4.5 assists. That's a much better play for me. Let's continue to work our way through some player prop bets, everybody. I am going to stop the show in about 15-20 minutes, so not too much time left in the show. Let's go to the Pacers and the Magic, everybody. Pacers and Magic. Looking at head-to-head, Magic have been a pretty good defense all season long. There are no matchups on the Pacers side that I really like. Looking on the other side, the small forward position and the power forward position both have good matchups. Let's look at Franz Wagner points. Franz Wagner, his point total set at 21.5. Hasn't been a good trend. Head-to-head against the Pacers, he's been around 19, 20 points. If I were to buy this down to 19.5 points, it's been a much better trend in that case. But again, overall over the last 20 games, not a great trend. I'm going to avoid it. I want to take it, but I'm going to avoid it. That said, B knows what I'm going to look at. Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero is absolutely going to get my attention today. He's got a good matchup. Let's take a look at him on points. He's been around 22, 23, 25 points over the last few games, specifically at home. He has gone over 28 points in 3 straight games. His point total today is set at 24.5. I took this earlier in the week at over 19.5. He's been hitting that so consistently, but that's not very good odds, to be honest with you. Head-to-head against this opponent, not great, actually. He's faced the Pacers. Oh, there we go. He's faced the Pacers 3 times. He's gone over 19.5 points in 3 of those 4. He's actually gone to at least 23 points in 3 of those 4. I'm going to take Paolo Banchero. Man, the sportsbooks kind of angled me out here. I can get it at 19.5. I can get it at 22.5. What was I going to take it? At 21.5. So the sportsbooks are trapping me a little bit. I'm willing to take Paolo Banchero over 19.5 points. Put that into some parlays. I'm also willing to take over 22.5 points, but for that, that's a straight up play. So over 22.5 is it's on its own. It's its own bet. Over 19.5, that would be put into a parlay. Okay, everyone. Oh, I want to look at his rebounds as well. He's got a good matchup when it comes to rebounds. He has gone over, it's 7.5 rebounds. That's incredibly high. I don't like that at all. He's gone over 5.5 in 8 of his last 10 games, 5 straight road games, 14 of his last 20 home games. The spot I want to take is Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero over 5.5 rebounds. That's where I want to take it. It's not a great spot. Again, it might be worth it for some of you who are looking for a same game parlay, putting that together with like Magic on the money line. That would be something to consider. Let's move on to the next bet, everybody. We're going Rockets, we're going Kings. Rockets and Kings is the next one we're going to look at. Any good matchups that we see? Interesting. Sengun, he's got a good matchup when it comes to rebounds. Let's go look at him. He has been a monster with rebounds. His rebound total is set at 10.5. If I move that down just slightly to over 9.5, he has gone over 9.5 rebounds in 6 of his last 10 games, but he's actually gone over in 6 of his last 8 games. He's been doing a really good job cleaning up the boards. He's gone over 9.5 rebounds in 13 of his last 20 games overall. On the road, though, not as good. Not as good on the road. How about head-to-head against this opponent? Not a good matchup as well. So Sengun, I wouldn't take him at 9.5. 8.5 would be the spot. If I'm going to take Sengun on rebounds, 8.5 would be the spot for me. He's hit that in 15 of his last 20 games. I'm going to put it on the board. It's not a great bet in terms of odds, but I'm showing it to you anyways. Sengun of the Rockets over 8.5 rebounds is the next bet we're putting out. Flip it around. Let's look at the Sacramento Kings. Any good matchups here? The power forward position is. So let's look at Harrison Barnes. Oh, no. Who's their power forward? Sabonis is their center. It doesn't have any power forwards. So we're going to move on to the next game, everybody. Next game for us. Adam, I'm not still in Rome. I'm back in the United States. Let's take a look at the Pelicans and Hawks. Pelicans and Hawks is the next one we're looking at. Keegan Murray is a shooting guard. That's what I saw, parlay. Okay, we're looking at the matchups here. Couple of really good matchups, actually. The power forward position is a phenomenal matchup for Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, the power forward of the Pelicans. He's got a phenomenal matchup. The Atlanta Hawks are 25th in points allowed to power forwards, 26th in rebounds allowed, 25th in assists allowed. So actually, Zion Williamson has a great matchup. Let's look at his point total. It's set at 22.5. He's hit that in 5 of his last 10 games. That's not great. 11 of his last 20 games. On the road, 11 of his last 20 games as well. Specifically against the Hawks, though, he's gone over 22.5 points in his last 2 games against the Hawks. So it's actually a pretty good spot. I am going to take Zion Williamson over. I would take Zion Williamson over 20.5 points. That's over 20.5 points. I'd also be willing to take it at its current spot. Over 22.5 points. I think Zion Williamson can get to 23 points today. B is in the building. What's up, B? Hope you're having a great day. Let's go back to some of these other trends and other matchups that we care about. The shooting guard position has a phenomenal matchup. Let's look at shooting guards. C.J. McCollum. He's got a great matchup when it comes to points. Hawks are 28th in points allowed to the shooting guard position. He has gone over 16.5 points in 2 of his last 3 games against the Hawks. Hasn't been a great trend so far, though, for C.J. McCollum. So if I were to take it, C.J. McCollum maybe over 14.5 points is a little bit better, but the trends don't back it up. C.J. McCollum is banned. We don't bet him anymore? Not a bad idea, actually. He's a little bit tricky for us. How about we look at Brandon Ingram? Brandon Ingram's matchup isn't bad as well. When it comes to points, Hawks are 21st in points allowed to the small forward position. Hasn't been hitting over 20 points consistently, though. So if we're going to take Brandon Ingram, I take over 17.5 points. He's hit that in 13 of his last 20 games. He's hit that in only 9 of his last 20 home games, though. Head-to-head against the Hawks, not a good bet, avoiding it. Let's flip it over. Let's take a look really quick at the Atlanta Hawks. Any matchups we like for the Hawks? No. No matchups we like for the Hawks. Thanks, IP Shade 45. Appreciate you, buddy. So grateful for the support that you and so many of you guys out there show us. We never, ever ask you guys to pay for our picks. But if you guys ever want to support the show, we are certainly so grateful for all the support that you guys show us every day. You allow us to put together the resources to be able to do this every single day. So big shout out to IP Shade 45. Next game we're going to look at is 76ers and Knicks. 76ers and Knicks. Any matchups we like? Josh Hart on assists. Josh Hart on assists. His assist total set at 4.5. He's hit that in 7 of his last 10 games. He's hit that in 12 of his last 20 games overall. At home, only 9 of his last 20, but he's hit it. If I look at his last 10 games at home, he's hit it in 7 of his last 8 games at home. I like Josh Hart on assists. Head-to-head against the 76ers. He's gone 1 and 2 on this, but I really do like this. That's Josh Hart over. We're going to take Josh Hart over 4.5 assists. Will your NBA player prop bets be posted on Instagram? Yes. They'll be on the SHARPZ app. They'll also be posted on Instagram, guys. Obviously, DM me on Instagram to make sure you never miss one of my picks. We will also take Josh Hart over 3.5 assists. That's a phenomenal play. Josh Hart over 3.5 assists is absolutely something you want to put into a parlay. If I put something into a parlay, it would be Paolo Banchero over 19.5 points and Josh Hart over 3.5 assists. That's a very good two-leg parlay. Zubac also over 7.5 rebounds. That would make a phenomenal three-leg parlay based on the research we've just done. Okay, let's take a quick look at Jalen Brunson on points. Anything we like here? Not really. I'm not seeing any other trends that I really like there. Thank you, IP Shade 45. Thanks for the money gun. Certainly it's flying with money here. Let's go look at the next set of trends. We want to look at how the 76ers have done, how their matchup is against the Knicks. By the way, so appreciate you guys. You guys are the absolute best. Big shout out to all of you guys watching the show. Thank you guys for making me a part of your sports day. It means the world to me. I love entertaining you guys. I love giving you guys this information. Let's look at Tobias Harris. Any matchups we like. Knicks are a pretty good team. Defensively, let's look at Tobias Harris on points. His point total is set at 19.5. I want to look at how he's done without Tyrese Maxey in the lineup. When Tyrese Maxey's not in the lineup, it's not a great trend. If I were to take it anywhere, Tobias Harris over 16.5 points, I'd feel better about that. Do I love it? No. I'm willing to put it up on my board so you guys can see it, though. Tobias Harris over 16.5 points. Do I love it? No, but it's enough. There's enough there where I might look at it. That said, Cetis, you're totally right. Tobias Harris has been inconsistent. Without Tyrese Maxey on the road, he's hit this in 8 of his last 13 games. Head-to-head against the Knicks, he's only hit it. He's failed to hit it once, but not enough there. Jay Parlay, I don't disagree with you. He is a sweaty bet every time. I'm going to be sweating it this afternoon. We have 3 more games to look at. Let's look at Darius Garland and the Cavaliers. Any matchups we like for the Cavaliers? We like Darius Garland on points. That's one place we're going to look. Let's look at Darius Garland's point total. It's set at 24.5. That's way too high. Way too high. How about over 21.5? Nope, not a good trend. Not good data. Not taking it. No bets that I really like for the Cavaliers today. Not something I want to be taking. Actually, really quick, I want to look at Jared Allen. Nope, nothing I like. Let's switch over to the Nets. Any matchups we like for the Nets? Small forward position we do. So let's look at the small forward position. Let's look at Mikal Bridges. He went to 25. We're looking at his point total. Mikal Bridges, he got 19 points yesterday. We have it at 17.5. B, I love where your thinking's at. We hit it yesterday. I love the matchup today. Hasn't been a very good trend. I know we cashed on it yesterday. I don't love it. Head-to-head, though, really consistent. Now we found a trend that we like. He has gone over 18.5 points in 4 straight games against the Cavaliers. If I move this down to 17.5, he's hit it in 5 straight games against the Cavaliers. B, you are on your game, buddy. We're taking Mikal Bridges over 17.5 points. I'd also consider it at over 16.5 points, obviously. Okay, we're moving on to the next game. Grizzlies, Thunder. Let's go look. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He has been en fuego. He has been on frickin' fire. He has gone over 30 points in 9 of his last 10 games. He has gone over 30 points in 16 of his last 20 games. He's got a good matchup today. His point total set at 29.5. I'd buy it down. I would take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 27.5 points and be frickin' thrilled to do so. I could see this also going over 28.5 points, so you guys could ride that up a little bit. I take it at 27.5 and buy it up to 28.5. Really like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Quickly, I want to look at his assist total. Right now it's set at 5.5. I don't like it there. If I got it at 4.5, that's a great play as well. Shai Gilgeous Alexander over 4.5 assists. Another play that we like today. Shai's going to have a big day. If you're looking for someone to bet on today, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a good one to take. Mario, Miami Heat on the money line. Mario, Miami Heat on the money line. Any other bets that we like today? Nah, not really. Not really. Not for Shai, not for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I'm not betting the Grizzlies. You couldn't pay me to bet the Grizzlies. What's the assist line? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 4.5 assists. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 4.5 assists. We have one more game left to go. We have been live for 2 hours and 45 minutes, everybody. So when I say that I am literally giving you everything I've got, we have really put in the effort today. We have one more game left in terms of player prop bets. We are looking at the Lakers. We are looking at the Timberwolves. Any matchups we like here? Not for the Lakers side of things. Tough matchups overall. And as for the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards has a decent matchup. I don't love it. His point total, though, without Karl Anthony Towns in the lineup, has exploded. He has gone over 29.5 points in 3 of his last 4 games. And keep in mind, Scott Foster kind of impacted that last game. So he's in the 3 games he didn't have with Karl Anthony Towns and Scott Foster wasn't refereeing. He went 3 for 3. But as user 31 points out, he is questionable for today's game. If I were to take it anywhere, 24.5 would be the right spot B. I don't like it, though. No real trends that I like for this one, so I'm going to avoid this game in terms of player prop bets. We have given out all of our picks for the day. Let me recap our player prop bets that we just gave out, okay, everyone? Listen up, because we're going to recap the player prop bets right now. We're taking Ivica Zubac over 8.5 points and Zubac over 7.5 rebounds. We're taking James Harden over 15.5 points. We're taking Jimmy Butler over 19.5 points. We're taking Duncan Robinson over 11.5 points. We're taking Terry Rozier over 4.5 assists. We're taking Paolo Banchero over 19.5 points. I'd also be willing to go over 22.5 points. I take Paolo Banchero over 5.5 rebounds. Alperen Sengun over 8.5 rebounds. Zion Williamson over 20.5 points, over 22.5 points. I take Josh Hart over 4.5 assists. I really love it at over 3.5 assists. I would take Tobias Harris over 16.5 points. I take Mikal Bridges over 17.5 points or over 16.5 points. I would take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 27.5 points or over 28.5 points. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 4.5 assists. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show for the day. 2 hours and 50 minutes live on the air. I challenge anybody to give you as much research, data, and as many free picks as we just gave out today. We give away all of our picks for free. Never behind a paywall. You never, ever, ever have to spend $1 on my picks. So DM me on Instagram. The name of my company is Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet I make every day for free. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet I make. That way you never miss a pick that I make regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, regardless of the odds. My picks are available for free every single day. I am so grateful for you guys joining us. I am so grateful for you guys supporting our company and our channel. I hope you guys join us tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern when we're going to do it all over again. Grateful that you guys follow our show. Thank you for taking time out of your day. Again, if you want any of my picks, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. Stay healthy, stay safe, and have a wonderful Sunday. Should be a lot of fun watching sports. Have a good one, everybody. Goodbye.